think I would buy into this why it's low.
You're going Six Flags?
Now, apparently,
Literally a roller
home, right?
So, yeah, I've got a little background on this. Together, the group of investors own about 9% of the economic interest in the Six Flags Entertainment Corporation. Travis, an Ohio native and theme park, quote, superfan, previously detailed his love for the Cedar Point amusement park in Sandusky on an episode of the New Heights podcast. Quote, for those who don't know, Cedar Point is a roller coaster USA. Jason said in the podcast clip by his brother on October 21st, premier roller coaster amusement park in the country. And Travis corrected him and said, quote, in the world. You can't tell me it's not in the world. It had 5 or 6 world record breaking roller coasters. He said he didn't get on roller coasters as a kid, but now as an adult, he has decided to get more involved in the roller coaster game. In August, company announced CEO Richard Zimmerman's plan to step down by the end of the year following a bleak second quarter. In a press release, company reported a net loss of over $100 million over the course of 3 months.
That'll ding you.
I've never been a big fan, but I just don't like rides, so.
I loved it as a kid, but it just has changed.
Tom asked why Todd Furman's riding behind Taylor Swift.
Yep. You know, sadly, since what happened at Penn State, I would have voted if I had been on the Chamber of Commerce of that town to change my name, because anytime I hear Sandusky, Ohio,
I'm with you 100%.
I think.
How about the old boy that was the voice of the Baltimore Ravens, whose literal name was Jerry Sandusky? You remember that guy?
I do remember that. Yeah.
So concerns over AI surveillance in schools are intensifying after armed officers swarmed a 16-year-old student outside of Kenwood High School in Baltimore with an AI gun detection system falsely flagged a Doritos bag is a firearm.
I like Doritos.
Taki Island was hanging out with friends after football practice October 20th when multiple police cars suddenly pulled up. Allen told WBAL-TV 11 News, quote, it was like 8 cop cars started pulling up for us. They started walking towards me with guns, talking about get on the ground, and I was like, what? They made me get on my knees, put my hands behind my back, and cuffed me. Then they searched me and found nothing. Allen was handcuffed at gunpoint. Police later showed him the AI-captured image that triggered the alert. The crumpled Doritos bag in his pocket had been mistaken for a gun.
What's in the bag?
Quote, it was mainly like, am I going to die? Are they going to kill me? They showed me the picture, said that looks like a gun, and I said, no, it's actually chips. AI system behind the incident is part of gun detection technology introduced in the Baltimore County Public Schools last year. It scans existing surveillance footage and alerts police in real time when it detects what it is believed is a weapon. That's a serious problem.
Yeah. So far, not working.
Yeah, not even close.
Yeah, I mean, if we mistake a Doritos bag for one, now if we mistake a water gun for a gun, okay, I get it.
Okay, but what if?
But a Doritos bag?
What if you just had one trigger-happy police officer there that
he's got a gun? Yeah.
Or that kid made the wrong move.
Yeah, he
just because he's scared.
Yeah, he goes to get
reaching,
and
he's just
Doritos.
reaching for a
it's
chip.
not a gun.
Yeah, that's my Doritos.
Boom, boom, boom.
Done.
And he's got a bag of Doritos.
That's very scary. Very scary.
Yeah, we're going to have another bad situation.
Yeah, horrible.
So I save a lot of people on my phone based on, what they do for a living.
Lance's phone is wild. Like if I ask Lance to share, hey, can you share me so-and-so's contacts? He'll send me something. I'm like, I don't even know who this is. I had the wrong last name of a guy forever based on one of Lance's contacts. And it was years before I realized what his actual last name was.
What, Ken West?
It was Ken West. And he used up all of today's Next Round on demand through the podcast platform of your choice. Apple, Spotify, iHeart, or Google Podcasts. Wherever you listen, always like, follow, subscribe, and turn on automatic downloads so you never miss any part of the Next Round.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between 2 warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
Have you been injured in an 18-wheeler accident, company truck accident, car accident, or work-related accident? Call Alabama's largest personal injury firm. Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys will fight for every dollar you deserve, and it won't cost you a dime. Trust me. What do you say, man?
Call me, Alabama.
Call 659-777-7777 or go to shannara.com.
No representation made that the legal services provided are better than legal services provided by other attorneys.
Jim Dunaway.
Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
All right, here we go. College football. I got 10 cuts on this sheet from Scott Forrester. 1,000 other things that we'll get to college football on the show. We'll talk about the NFL last night, too. But I just got to go around the room. We'll start in the back. No.
Nobody in the back.
No, wait. I did.
Well,
Brooks, you're young. You're young, man. Did you stay up and watch history and baseball last night?
I am young, but I have 2 young children, and they wear me out. So I'm usually in bed by 9 I'm in bed by 9 p.m.
By the sounds of it, no.
Forrester, you watch, you don't watch good baseball, but you watch baseball with your White Sox. Did you stay up and watch the end of the World Series?
Absolutely not.
Tyler, baseball is a sport with a stick and a ball. Did you watch it?
No, I went to see Chainsaw Man again.
Whoa.
Tell me more, old man.
You saw what?
I saw Chainsaw Man again.
What time did you get home from that? Was it a late show?
No, it wasn't a late show.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Now, by the way, he's wearing a Chainsaw Man hoodie if no one has seen this.
You
yet.
like this movie, don't you?
Oh, yeah, it's the best.
Now, I will tell you that on Monday morning.
Tyler's godfather is Chainsaw Man.
On Monday morning, he sent me the live reads at 5:03 a.m. Monday morning. And
I'm sure you were up, right?
And, well, no, I mean, I got it at 5:45, but I was like, dude, are you okay? I said to him, are you okay? Or, it could be he's just rolling in. He's young. Got to squeeze in a quick nap before he came to work. Brown?
Jim, no. I will tell you, I made it to the end of the 8th inning, and I was telling Dunaway this earlier. It just felt like extra innings. So I said, I'm going to go ahead and go to bed. Yeah. I didn't watch the 9th.
Did you?
So
the one Dodger fan here.
So I get on the couch last night at like 6 o'clock, and I start dozing off. And I was like,
at 6 p.m.?
Yeah, 6 p.m.
Well, Monday Night Football's not even kicked yet.
Oh, I know. So I decided to make an executive decision at that point. I'm not going to have any beer or wine tonight.
Okay.
And I'm going to go on and take a quick nap. So I got up about 6:40.
So you took a 6 to 6:40 nap.
Yep.
Okay.
I got downstairs.
That was a good plan. Yeah, I like that.
Got downstairs, got all the TVs lined up, and I start watching. And then when Kansas City got up 28-7 with about 2.5, I go up and get in bed and just put the Dodgers on.
Oh, that's your big mistake right there.
It was.
Yeah. TV in the bed.
I can't stay, and I've got like 3 or 4 different people texting. About the 11th inning, I fall asleep.
Yeah.
And then I get up at 3:30, and the only person that has texted me is my buddy Heath, and he just says, bro. And I was like, damn, we must have lost. And I checked it, and I was like, you got to be kidding me. And then I get up, and all everybody's talking about is the best World Series game in the history of the World Series.
Yeah.
And it was really good, but it cannot touch Game 5. Houston cheated, but if you go back Game 5 of 2017 World Series, that is the best game in World Series history.
LT. Since you were asleep. Here's
I've seen it all. I've gone through it all.
For those that missed it and don't pay attention to baseball, first off, Shohei Ohtani.
And by the way, we didn't mention baseball yesterday.
I forgot it was on.
We mentioned it one time.
I forgot it was on.
Shohei Ohtani reached base 9 times in one game.
Like
just
slow
say that
pitch
again.
softball.
Say
like,
that again. I know.
If you give guys 9 ABs in slow pitch softball, I don't know, the best of the best, like maybe 7 out of 10 in your lineup might be able to do it.
Okay,
maybe.
So 4 for 4, 2 doubles, 2 home runs, and then he walks 5 times. 4 of them are intentional walks, but wait for it. 3 of those are with nobody on base in the 9th, 11th, and 15th inning, where they decided with Shohei, nobody's on base. They're like, well, this is not going to beat us.
Yep.
So we're going to walk and intentionally put the game-winning run on first base. They did that 3 times in a World Series game.
But I watched long enough to hear Smoltz, after he was 4 for 4, say, I don't know how many times Ohtani will come to the plate again, but that's the last time I would pitch to him.
Yeah,
I mean Smoltz said it.
And they, the first time they did intentionally walk him, like John Snyder immediately was, I don't care if runner's on first or not, we are walking this guy. And you got to pitch him like Barry Bonds now. You can't let him beat you, especially in one swing.
Yeah, one swing and it ends. And then, by the way, he becomes the first person with 3 multi-home run games in the same postseason. So another historic moment for him. By the way, going to quickly turn around through a translator. He told Fox last night at the end of the game, they asked him about, hey, well, what's your plan to get ready to start pitching? He goes, to go home and go to sleep as quick as possible. So, and that was a very short answer, and that was the last one through the translator. They're like, okay, we'll see you later.
Good night.
Well,
good night, Shohei.
And that's another problem. Like, you might have been able to go immediately to sleep. Like, if I would have seen the moment where Freeman hits that, it takes it to another level of being wired. And, like, so the game ends at 1:59. Maybe I'm asleep by 3:30 or 4.
2:30 for me is when I fell asleep. But I'm not even a Dodgers fan. I had no dog in the fight. But it was just such a great moment.
Well, you got to the point where you knew you were watching history. See, I didn't let myself get to that point. I went on to bed thinking this may go 10, 11 innings, and I ain't got it in me.
Yeah, but see, I watched history and got burnt when Max Muncy, it was Game 3 of the 2018 World Series, and he walked it off. I stayed up for that entire one, and then we ended up losing in 5.
Dodgers-Red Sox, 2018, right? Freeman walks it off last night, and as Brooks came in, he and I were talking, that's back-to-back years. He has now hit walk-off home runs. He's the first person in World Series history with multiple walk-off home runs.
Oh, he's the new Mr. October. Well, he did that grand slam to walk it off in Game 1 of last year. Your World Series MVP from last year, hitting 4 home runs in that World Series. To do it last night, it's just, it is kind of ridiculous, the Dodgers. And I'm saying this as a Dodger fan. $509 million. I mean, when you've got, you go through the gauntlet of a lineup, then you've still got to face Max Muncy, who leads the Dodgers in all-time postseason home runs. It's just crazy. And then you bring in the moment I missed, not the walk-off. I went to bed the inning before Kershaw came in.
Oh, it was unbelievable. Yeah. Bases are loaded, and he gets them out of a jam.
Historically very bad coming out of the pen.
Like, if I would have been awake, I would have been like, oh, my God, I know his wife was in the stands. Yeah. I think everybody was a nervous wreck.
Freeman, that was all Freddie wanted to talk about after his walk-off home run. Freeman was like, how about Clayton Kershaw? He threw that first slider 89 miles an hour that just broke across the plate, and I was like, oh, we've got good Kershaw tonight.
Yeah.
You know what we can't have? We can't see Kershaw again.
No, that's got to be his final. That's got to be it for him. Yeah, that's the last time he's in a Dodger uniform.
Such a contribution to helping win another World Series.
Yeah, it was so good. Inside the game, I mentioned Freeman's home run. No runs scored from the 8th inning through the 17th inning. Just drama. Base runners galore, though. 613 pitchers by 19 different pitchers, and that was what gets you to the nuance of the game. Will Klein of the Blue Jays threw 4 scoreless innings. He had never pitched more than 2 innings in a game. He pitched 4 scoreless with all the pressure in that lineup. Tommy Edman of the Dodgers made one great defensive play after another.
Dude, the ball that went off the glove of Freeman, where he actually, the slide and the immediate throw, the one bounce to cut him down at third. Oh, that was, I mean, look, he made an error earlier to make up for that, but that was just incredible. And then the relay from Teoscar Hernandez, and just a spot-on throw there.
Well, my favorite part of the whole night was, I forget, it's their Buster only, whoever is on the sidelines for Fox.
Tom Verducci?
Yeah, so they went down to Tom. Tom, what's both pitching staffs are strained here. What's the Dodgers plan here? Well, this guy's going to finish the 18th. If it goes to the 19th, it's going to be a position player. Dave Roberts just doesn't know which one yet. But then all of a sudden we come back from the commercial break, and Yamamoto's up warming up. He had pitched a complete game, 9 innings in the win in Game 2, and Verducci says Yamamoto went to Roberts and volunteered and says, before we go to a position player, I can do it. Yeah, I can do it.
Those Asians a little bit different.
Yeah.
Our Americans, we've gotten soft. Hey, man, I got a pitch count. I can't do this.
But what a teammate, right? I mean, if you're a Dodger, you're like, that's my teammate right there.
He's like, I'll risk it. I'll risk it. I'll go out there. And he starts full warming up.
That's
and,
awesome.
Once you start heating it up, it's almost like you're
like
pitching
you
pitched, at that.
But real quick, back to the point you made about no runs scored. For the Dodgers bullpen to go 13 in the third and only give up a run, I mean, that was the Achilles heel of this team all year long.
And if the Blue Jays had gone to the 19th, if Freeman had not hit the walk-off home run, they were going back. They were going to go to their Game 4 starter. So he was going to
burn a starter.
He was about to heat up, and they were going to go to their starter for tonight, and they ended up not doing that on the Freeman home run. But the Blue Jays bullpens blitzed. They're going against Otani tonight in a must-win situation. Dodgers 3-1. But it was a historic game with so many nuances and everything. Was I fighting sleep every time? Yes, I was. Yes, I was. But it was worth the stay up. And when I got into bed, because I play poker on Monday nights, and usually if I'm home from before 11, Maggie jokes, bad night, huh? Well, I'd come home way early. It was a bad night of poker. But I didn't crawl into bed until 2 o'clock, 2:15. And she's like, "You must have won, huh?" And I was like, "Oh no, I've been up 4 hours watching baseball." And she's like, "What?" And I was like, "The World Series,
Korean baseball."
Yeah.
Hey, so I asked you guys before this series. I was like, "Is there a possibility we get in this series and we start talking about Shohei Ohtani having the best singular World Series we have ever seen because of the possibility of what he can do at the plate and him actually pitching?" I think we're back at the discussion now, right?
Yeah.
No, I mean, if he goes out tonight and deals,
I mean, to reach base 9 times.
Yeah, I mean, he's already got that, which that alone should put you in the discussion for greatest singular World Series of all time. But if he goes out tonight and deals, I think you could make the argument it's the greatest singular performance in World Series history.
Yeah, I mean, 2 home runs is enough, but the other 2 were, his leadoff double to start the game. They couldn't push him across the plate, but leadoff double, start the game, gets another double. I mean, his bases last night, the 4 extra base hits, and then gets intentional walk. I mean, the intentional walk is the stuff legends are made of. People will talk 50 years from now about, man, in the World Series back in 2025, the Blue Jays respected Ohtani so much that they walked him in the 9th, the 11th, and the 15th intentionally to put the winning run on base just because they were so scared of the guy.
And they still lost.
Does he DH the nights he pitches?
No, he's not DH at that point.
No, he's just they just don't have a DH.
He's just a pitcher.
Yeah, he just swings it.
Well, the pitcher doesn't bat. But
yeah, because you can have a DH, but if you want the pitcher to bat.
Okay, so I mean, he just bats as the pitcher, right? So my question, he hits the nights he pitches.
Yes,
that's my ultimate question.
You ain't taking that bat.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Why would you?
I mean, technically, they could.
They could DH and him not hit.
They could DH a second baseman or somebody like that.
But could he pinch hit? He can't pinch hit as the DH at that point, then, right? Can he pinch hit?
Your second baseman would be the DH at that point.
No. But could he pinch hit if he were pitching and not part of the hitters? Could he pinch hit later?
No.
Okay.
I mean,
no, because you've got to be able to come in for somebody.
That's right. You'd have to take somebody.
I mean, technically, I guess you could.
I don't.
Because you could do a double switch.
Don't worry about it. It's not
like if he came in and pinch hit for, Edmund, and then you decided to bring Kiki Hernandez in and put him at second, and then you probably could.
Yeah. It doesn't matter if he's hitting. I'm just curious as to what his pitching does for his hitting.
So 7 o'clock tonight on Fox, if you want to watch that. We got
today will be a dud. It'll be like
everybody will be back.
I'm going to watch this.
It'll be 8-0 Dodgers.
Or the other way around. Ohtani gets blasted. Like, well, what's the big deal about this guy?
Yeah, if it wasn't Ohtani, I would think that this is a complete Dodger blowout because it's Ohtani and there's just so much hype. I don't know.
Just so many nuances of that game last night. To what we saw on Monday Night Football, and we'll get to college football. Clay Travis, hour 2. Starts us off right after Clay, commercial free, right to Joel Klatt.
Oh, is that how we're doing that?
Is that how we're doing that?
We can discuss that
later. We'll play it by ear on how that works out. By the way, Klatt gets the big one they've waited on all year, man. Penn State, Ohio State this week.
That's for the Big Ten, basically, right?
Yeah.
Boy, we felt that.
Poor Big Noon this year.
Hey, look at my color ink. That brown is like you've blasted. Like I pulled it out.
I have not used either one of the ones you were using before you pinned this on me.
How in the hell is it leaking like that?
I don't know, but don't blame it on me just because it's leaking.
So is that Penn State blue?
Yeah,
I've already cussed him earlier.
And I am not to blame for this.
Hey, what do you see here?
Wait till you see mine.
I see a $2 million buyout.
Yeah. $2.4 million. College football in a second. The show being brought to you by Alexander Shannara, trial attorneys. Tell us about Alexander Shannara.
Alexander Shannara is Birmingham born and bred. He is an Alabama guy, a Birmingham guy, and he wanted to make sure his community was taken care of on anything that faces them in the legal realm. That's why Alexander Shannara started his practice, and he's recovered $2 billion for his clients since that time. And he handles personal injury claims, right? But not only that, claims for fire and storm damage, bad drug and device claims, disability, workers' compensation, a host of other claims. If you find yourself in need of a lawyer, call the Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys. You pay nothing unless they win your case. Shannara.com, Shannara.com.
2 interceptions first half from Patrick Mahomes, 7-7 at the half, and you think to yourself, man, is there a chance that Kansas City is going to be 4-4, 8 games into this thing? Nope. 3 touchdowns in the second half. KC wins it 28-7. They're 5-3 now. Buffalo this week, they still have 2 games with Denver down the stretch. After an 0-2 start, they seem pretty good right now.
Yeah.
KC seems to be okay.
Well, look, Xavier Worthy is back making plays. Rashee Rice is back making plays, and this offense is all coming together. And, I think it's a positive when you can turn it over multiple times from, the greatest to maybe ever do it in Pat Mahomes, and you still win the game by double digits. As good as the college game has been this year as far as parity and balance, incredible finishes, the NFL, this might have been the worst. And I'm not exaggerating.
No, you're right about this.
The worst weekend in the history of the NFL. 13 of 14 games decided by double digits.
Yeah, this Sunday was blowout Sunday. I mean, there were almost no good games in the early window.
There was one good game, the Jets and the Bengals.
Jets and the Bengals, that was it in the early window.
The betting world, which you're a big part of, LT, favorites were 11-2 in week 8. The best winning percentage in 40 years for the favorites.
Which is probably bad for Vegas,
I am
right?
off to, well, it depends.
I would think more people play favorites, though. Maybe I'm wrong.
Normally, they play power favorites, but a lot of people love taking the points and the dogs. It just depends on the situation. Yeah. But I will say this, in all my years of doing this, my best start ever in the NFL. I'm 29-11 through 8 weeks. That is I've won every week. I've not lost a week.
That's incredible. So you've won 29
yeah, so
games.
I'm right at 73% through 8 weeks of the NFL.
That's insane.
Yeah. With another winner last night.
Yeah, back to good job. Back to Kansas City.
That was the most condescending good job I've ever heard in my life.
As I said it, it felt condescending, but I legitimately I legitimately meant good job.
NBA is I finally got a winner in the NBA last night, but I had a losing night in the NBA. The NBA is my kryptonite.
Hey, great job.
Yeah, thanks,
you got a
man.
winner.
I appreciate
Is
that.
Better?
No, that's even more condescending. Hey, while we're talking Lance's Lock, lanceslock.com brought to you by our friends at Hemp Hill. Yeah. I'll give Brown a chance to come down off of his condescending pedestal.
I meant it genuinely.
Trust
good job.
the name Birmingham has trusted since 1954 for all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling issues. Our friends at Hemp Hill do sponsor Lance's Lock, where you get a free play every single day. College football again tonight. Game 4 of the World Series. More NBA action. Still trying to figure out cheat code in the NBA, but whether you experience any of these issues in your home or business.
Chauncey Billups has one.
Yeah, he does. Hemp Hill Services there to serve you. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there, 205-229-2090. Hard to stop a train. For more information, hemphillservices.com.
Brown was a little condescending at the fast food restaurant. We bumped into each other last night.
What?
He's over there with his family. They pull into the to-go slot. I'm in slot 4. He's in slot 7. And I noticed him as I'm about to pull away, so we lower down the windows. I say nice things to his daughter in the back seat. She's a superstar. And then I'm like, Brown, I didn't picture the Browns eating at a fast food restaurant. And he's like, oh, we didn't. We're just here to get her an ice cream.
I was the condescending one. Yeah, that was me.
I think you got to defer to Jim on who's being condescending.
Nobody knows it better.
We know.
Yeah, nobody knows it better.
Brown, I didn't think you guys eat at fast food restaurants. Oh, we don't. We're just here to get her an ice cream.
Did you hang around for Dunaway to complain about what was wrong with his food?
No, I'm there 8 times a week.
That's a good one. They don't mess that one up. But I was
thought
laughing.
Maggie cooked it up all the time.
She does. I just don't always eat it.
The battle.
That was condescending.
Yeah, 100%. The battle for the 1 seed in the AFC is super fascinating. Speaking of Kansas City, because they're not out of it, but you just gave what they have left on the way the Bills and 2 with the Broncos.
You got to win this weekend.
Yeah,
the AFC West is starting to look like the NFC West in this regard. Raiders and Cardinals done, but you look at all the other 3 teams. Like I can make an argument that the Chargers and the 49ers, both playoff teams, but both beat the hell and back. They're just so banged up. I think the Broncos and Seahawks, the way they play defense with, quarterbacks you still don't 100% trust. And then I think at the top, you got the Chiefs and the Rams. But those divisions are crazy.
They're crazy. But, the Colts obviously have the lead for the 1 seed. Patriots, I think, they're going to have to be dealt with. The Bills and the Chiefs play one another. You got the Broncos in there. This battle for the 1 seed in the AFC, for years it's just been Kansas City and will they drop a game they're not supposed to and lose the 1 seed? But Kansas City's got the 1 seed. That's not it this year, man. It's going to be a war for that 1 seed.
Yeah, it's a fun season. Second half of the season starts Thursday night with Lamar Jackson returning with the Ravens and Miami.
Yeah, so you knew he would return for
you guys are on a heater, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so looking forward to that. By the way, also this week, Sunday night, you get Minnesota and Detroit. Carson Wentz done for the season. Vikings hoping to get J.J. McCarthy back. I don't know who the Vikings' third-string quarterback is, but there's a chance if J.J. can't go Sunday night, it could be third-string Viking quarterback against the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, Carson Wentz just I don't know, with all his experience, some of the decisions he was making down the stretch. I mean, this is such a quarterback-friendly offense. But the Vikings treading water right now.
All right, to college football we go right after Brownie tells us about our friends at Bojangles.
You can make a bow time at Bojangles. A great way to celebrate high school football with the tailgates or college football with the tailgates. If you're headed down to Auburn this weekend for Auburn and Kentucky, let Bojangles cater that for you. Or those college football watch parties. If you're just hanging out the house watching your team on the road or all the games, Bojangles can cater that for you as well. Those hand-breaded chicken tenders, those great sides, all the great dipping sauces that go with it. You can make it bow time. And don't forget, on your way to work tomorrow, if you're dropping the kids off at school, swing through your local Bojangles and grab that pork chop griller. It is back for a limited time. You've missed it. It has missed you. Get reunited with the pork chop griller and make it bow time.
Where are we on Alabama's playoff chances? Bye week for the Tide. They've got LSU, Oklahoma, Eastern Illinois, right?
Uh-huh.
And then road game at Auburn. That's their 4 final games.
Completely shocked if they don't make the college football playoff.
So you would go.
Give me percentage.
If we did the seesaw, I would do 95%.
95%. They've got to lose 2 more to miss it. You've got interim coach LSU, Eastern Illinois, Oklahoma, which appears to be losing a little fuel here.
Their
in the
offense
final laps.
has gone in the shit.
It has. It has gone south, and people are starting to move it a little on their defense. I think the one thing you do not want as an Alabama fan, the one thing you absolutely do not want is going to Jordan-Hare with 2 losses and having to win that game to get in the playoffs. There's enough crazy stuff that happens at Jordan-Hare that I know this is a down Auburn team, but Alabama fans have played down Auburn teams. They've seen those games at Jordan-Hare. You do not want to go there with already having 2 losses and have to get that win to secure your spot in the playoffs.
Can you tell me who the starting quarterback for Auburn will be?
I cannot, Lance.
If you tell me it's Ashton Daniels, they got no shot.
Okay.
We're going to do all the Auburn quarterback scenarios to start our next segment. Here's our ESPN playoff predictor as we stick to this right here. Alabama at 93%, LT. You nailed it there. Indiana, lock, you agree?
Yeah, I think Indiana's a lock. You know, I'm sitting here digging around trying to find an upset alert with a big number where I can come back and win.
That's one.
And I took a look at it's Maryland, right?
Yep, Maryland.
Yeah. And I'm like, it ain't happening.
No, thank you.
But yes, Indiana's a lock.
Ohio State's
Lock.
96% lock. I mean, even Penn State doesn't even look like a challenge this weekend probably. A&M's 96%. Y'all feel comfortable that
Yeah.
A&M's in?
I mean, I
now.
didn't before their trip to LSU, but boy, watching that.
93% for Bama. They've got Georgia at 81%, better than Oregon. You feel locked on Georgia?
Georgia can absorb 2 more losses. What's interesting is one of those is Texas, who that could be make or break for Texas. If Texas can get past,
they can absorb 2, right?
I'm sorry, can absorb 1 more loss. It could be make or break for Texas, depending on what happens with Texas Vandy this weekend. But then you also got Georgia Tech there at the end of the year.
You know, Matthew Caldwell, what have we heard? Is he going to be starting this week? Is Arch going to be back? I haven't heard anything on that. There's just so much going on. But the thing I would say about Texas is I think you're getting a lot of value with Vanderbilt on the road. It's an 11 o'clock game. I probably stay away from it. But the Longhorns, back-to-back overtime wins on the road against Kentucky and Mississippi
Against the
State.
dregs of the SEC.
Yeah, teams that are 6-9, teams that haven't won a conference game.
I know. So that's what Georgia has to get past. So, yeah, I kind of like Georgia's odds there. What's their number right there?
It's 81%.
81? Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah, then Oregon, Ole Miss.
Oregon's got 2 really difficult games coming up. And Brock Hewer brought this scenario up.
You locked Ole Miss, though, yesterday.
No, Ole Miss should be
Ole Miss is
higher.
locked.
I'm a little surprised at how low Ole Miss actually is.
They got them at 7. They got them 4th best odds in the SEC locked in.
I'd have them higher.
Can I bring up Oregon real quick? This is fascinating. So Oregon's already got the home loss. They've got SC coming up in a couple of weeks, and they end the season against a Washington team that we're not talking about at all.
Way under the radar. They destroyed Illinois over the weekend.
Washington is going to be favored in every game coming up. And it could come down where Washington going into the final week of the season is 9-2, hosting Oregon. And if they beat Oregon, I think they're in.
Well, the reason a lot of people don't talk about Washington is the one game they watched them play was against Michigan, and they looked awful.
Oh, they were awful.
Michigan.
It didn't make any sense.
They watch them play Ohio State.
Well,
They
that's
scored
true.
6
I'm
points.
sorry. Yeah, they scored 6 against Ohio State on the road and then played Washington. They were terrible. Or, excuse me, played Michigan and they were terrible. So you just assume, well, any quality competition. They destroyed Illinois, and to Lance's point, that could potentially be a spot in the playoff on the line at that game.
Yeah.
I'd have Ole Miss higher. That's one thing I would disagree with this exercise here is you look at Ole Miss's remaining, and they can take another loss on.
I'll tell you what happened
I just
here.
don't know how they're not.
The robot's getting smarter, and so they figured in Lane Kiffin and his ability to lose really just
but he can lose one more.
Baffling games. Like this
know.
weekend, would you guys be shocked? Ole Miss so much better than South Carolina, but would you be shocked if South Carolina beat them?
If it were in Columbia.
I just saw South Carolina this past weekend. I mean, they've got enough talent to make it interesting. Notre Dame, by the way, is the one that surprises me the most down there. It looks like they're factoring a Notre Dame loss in.
Who else do they have they could lose to?
Yeah, they got, what is that, 30%?
Yeah, that's what it is. But, I mean, who else could beat Notre Dame?
Yeah, I mean, you start looking at Notre Dame. I mean, Miami has the one loss, the baffling Friday night loss to Louisville, but their other loss, Notre Dame's, was an incredible classic to Texas A&M, who's yet to lose.
Yeah.
So, like, to me, I mean, if they win out, I don't know how they're not in, and I don't know how they don't win out.
Notre Dame's remaining is at BC this weekend, Navy at home. That may be the best remaining they've got. At Pitt.
It's not bad.
It's not bad. I mean, they destroyed NC State over the weekend. Syracuse, who's not playing well, and then at Stanford, who's one of the worst teams in the Power Four.
I mean, I think they'll be a 14.5-point favorite at home against Navy, maybe close to that on the road against Pittsburgh.
Do you think they're that far down because there's a scenario that if they're 10-2, they get left out?
I think they're that far down because they have the 2 losses, and they're like, well, one more loss knocks you out, so I can't put them 50-60%. But then you look at the rest of their schedule, like, yeah, I think you can.
I know it's a brand, and they maybe bring more eyeballs than anybody, one particular program. But if you look at the resumes, if they're 10-2 and Vanderbilt's 10-2, and I'll bring it up again, there is no way you can put Notre Dame in front of Vanderbilt.
Their best win will be USC at the end of the year. And
Vanderbilt will have 4 top 25 wins.
Yeah, I mean, that's really going to be their only ranked win because their wins, Jim, are Purdue, Arkansas, Boise, NC State. If they win out, BC, Navy, Pitt, Syracuse, Stanford, none of those teams will be ranked. USC, if they're ranked, and that is an if they're ranked, will be their only ranked win. I mean, there's a chance they get to the end of this and have 0 top 25 wins.
So let me ask you, if the next round was broadcasting the playoffs.
Yes, we'd want Notre Dame.
And your financial reality involved on who are the 12 teams, would you want Notre Dame or Vandy?
No, I would want Notre Dame. But let me ask you this. Is it really based on, am I supposed to, with good conscience, tell you who the better team is?
No, I think you're just realistic enough to know how this works, that they will go Notre Dame.
Why, there is no way.
Oh, Lance.
So let me ask you guys this.
Those are 2 quality losses, though.
Yeah, but Vanderbilt's at that point will be too, and Vanderbilt's got much more quality wins. If I asked you what is the most controversial omission we've ever had from the college football playoff?
Well, some would say
Florida State undefeated?
Undefeated Florida State. That was controversial. They went brand with Alabama there. But now last year it wasn't equal because of records, but they went non-brand SMU over brand Alabama. They could have easily gone brand Alabama.
That wasn't very controversial because Alabama had 3
losses.
losses.
No, I agree with you. This is different than that.
I'm just saying this will be the most controversial thing ever if it came down to that scenario, ever.
Well, I tell you what the committee would like to happen.
Get them both in.
Well, yeah, that. But the SEC to have just a bunch of teams. That way it looks a little better that you left out an SEC, but you also put 4 or 5 SECs in now.
Yeah, we can't put 6 SECs. Yeah. All these 10-2s.
We've got A&M in, we've got Alabama in, we've got Georgia in, we've got Ole Miss in. I mean, we've got, this can't be the SEC Invitational.
You can get 6 though.
Oh, you could.
Yeah,
you could.
I mean, maybe 6 deserving. I don't know if 6 will get in
over Notre Dame.
Yeah. Interesting. One more thing here in the opening segment after I remind you, our friends at Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living. Leslie, you hear me mention her name. She is the person that created the Way to Wellness plan down there. The website's a planforme.com. She has a huge menu of different ways you can jumpstart your weight loss, lose weight, maintain that weight loss, and even special diets that can help you with sleep apnea and so much more. Get all the details at aplanforme.com, or because you're a Next Round viewer or listener, you can get a free, no-cost consultation there. You just go down there, you go to aplanforme.com and find out about the free consultation thanks to being a viewer or listener of the Next Round. There's no contracts. There's no sign-up fees. The first consultation is free. You can use injection therapy, meal replacements. I do these protein bars to keep from bad snacking during the week. It's my little quick breakfast with a cup of coffee as I get going in the morning, and they will fill you up until you get that next healthy meal. It's all right there at Way to Wellness, aplanforme.com. I don't really watch news anymore. I don't know why. I guess because I get it on my phone. And there's so much on your phone that is not real. I figure my wife used it in a sermon. How many posts on social media, TikTok, and all that is AI generated and is not truthful or 100% truthful. And there's some enormous stat, like almost half of the stuff you see on social media or on your phone is not real. So I'm always having to double check. But this hurricane that is going on, at first when I saw the models and everything, because there was an app that was advertising for a while on TikTok like a year and a half ago that the radar would always look like it was the end of the world on the radar. And I was like, oh, my God, where's this? And it'd be like I'd click on it. It was like just a scary radar to want me to download the app. It wasn't real, happening in real time. I believe it's Melissa. Is that the name of this hurricane?
I think you're right, yeah.
Yeah. That's pounding Jamaica today. Sustained 185-mile-per-hour winds. Some are calling it the worst storm on Earth's history. That is right over. It's slow-moving, 4 mile per hour. Could dump 40 inches of rain today in Jamaica. Just prayers to the people of that island. It's expected to kick out into the Atlantic. That's the projected model. But this is really the way it looks, and the planes that fly in and out of it. Some of them had to abandon. They couldn't get in. Really well-defined eye. Have you guys seen the models of it? It is
I haven't
scary
seen it.
storm.
You know, I know you've been down there. I don't know if you've ever been before.
I've never been to Jamaica, no.
I've been twice.
Yeah, it's a fun place, but, you know, unfortunately, third world country, the evacuation plan, a lot of these people can't do it.
Well, they shut the airport down yesterday at like 2:30 because the winds were so high and they couldn't get out.
Yeah, but to Lance's point, some of them just don't have the resources to afford it.
Well, this is for tourists. So there are tourists that could not get out.
Yeah, that's scary. So that's super scary right there.
So they're sheltering in place.
It's one of those where I saw like the aerial flyover and I thought, oh, that's AI. This is a joke.
That's me.
But then I started researching. I'm like, no, that's actual video.
Yeah, like the eye is so well defined.
It looks so crazy. You're like, there's somebody screwing with us again.
Yeah. But it's that time of year where the waters in the Gulf are so warm still, and you know, this and that, all the fancy weather stuff that I don't know. But seriously, thoughts and prayers, and you know, help when we can on the other side of this to send money to help those impacted by the storms. Just a tremendous life-threatening situation going as we sit here and talk sports. When we come back, everything else going on in college football, including what Lance wanted to jump into, we'll jump in and hear from Hugh Freeze about the quarterback situation. Has Jackson Arnold taken his last snap as an Auburn Tiger as the quarterback? We'll talk about that on the other side. The show being brought to you by our friends at JohnsonRVCenter.com. Johnson RV Browning.
I-65, exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur is where you find Johnston RV Center. And if you want to go see America this fall and winter as the weather changes, you could do it in an RV from Johnston RV Center. How about that Avenger LT 16FQ, just $179 a month with approved credit. They got fifth wheels as low as $589 a month with approved credit. They can get you in something as low as $139 a month with approved credit. And this is all with zero down and RV warranty forever. Make sure you got a lifetime warranty on anything that is new or qualifying pre-owned at Johnston RV Center. I-65 exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur. Always online, JohnstonRVCenter.com.
Follow Dunaway on Twitter and Instagram at Jim Dunaway.
Have you been injured in an 18-wheeler accident, company truck accident, a car accident, or work-related accident? Call Alabama's largest personal injury firm. Alexander Shinara Trial Attorneys will fight for every dollar you deserve, and it won't cost you a dime. Trust me. What do you say, man?
Call me, Alabama.
Call 659-777-7777 or go to Shinara.com.
No representation made that the legal services provided are better than legal services provided by other attorneys.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 20/200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation, 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the next round sent you, 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com. Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit UrologyCentersAlabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today. Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Make plans now for Saturday, November 1st, 11 to 5, supporting Greater Crestwood as they host Crest Fest in the Crestwood North neighborhood. You'll get a day full of local bands, local food trucks, and local vendors. And all the money raised will go to funding new swings and park renovations at Crestwood Park. If you want to support the local Crestwood area, there's still time to sign up to be a sponsor or vendor. Visit CrestFestBHM.com to learn more. CrestFestBHM.com.
Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and Bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a Bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between two warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and Bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
Back with you on the next round. Tyler, if you can get me not quarterback, cut one, ready to go. 1, 2, 3. We'll roll through a little Auburn conversation here. We'll go in that order. Forrester came in and said, listen, Jim, I know that you were up 7 hours and 38 minutes ago watching the end of the Dodger game, but you gave me the signal for UCA read, and then you didn't do the UCA read. So really, I didn't do the UCA read earlier.
Nope, I have not heard you do one. Nope.
Nope, you just stood there holding your junk.
Yeah.
I love Jeeves. I love how much Jeeves gives him shit.
I mean, technically, it's not holding it. If you were closer on this side of the desk, you would see it.
I don't think I want to be.
It's this right here. It's peeing with the ow.
That's the
facial,
sign?
Yeah, that's the sign for UCA. If you're having urological problems, they can help you with urology centers.
I'm going today.
Alabama. LT's going today.
Yeah, getting blood work done.
All right,
man. Urology Centers of Alabama, 205-930-0920, 930-0920, urologycentersalabama.com. 70 years of urological care they've had there, 16 locations. The best doctors, the best atmosphere there, and early detection can really save your life, guys. When it comes to Prostate health, kidney stones, vasectomies, everything in between. They'll take care of you. 205-930-0920. Urology Centers, Alabama.com. And also our friends right there at CPAP Plus, Sleep Home Alabama LT.
I saw our man Joe O'Neill yesterday, sleephomealabama.com. That is the website. Look, if you're not getting that proper sleep, you need to make sure you get checked out. A lot of people, you don't want to do the sleep study. You want to deal with the lab. You don't want to deal with the insurance. Guess what? No lab, no insurance. From sleephomealabama.com, our friends at CPAP Plus. 5 locations throughout the state: Birmingham, Trussville, Pelham, Foley, Troy. It's Alabama best home sleep testing and CPAP. You need to make sure you're getting that proper 8 hours every single night. You can get this for $199. They'll ship it to your door. Again, no lab, just easy-to-wear fingertip devices, clinically validated. They connect to your smartphone, complete with the physician's interpretation of your results. For more information and to order today, sleephomealabama.com.
By the way, UTEP and Kennesaw State tonight, 7 o'clock ESPNU. Kennesaw State still unbeaten in Conference USA, like Jack State is, who plays tomorrow night. And also James Madison, unbeaten in the Sun Belt, playing at Texas State tonight, 7 o'clock ESPN2. James Madison right now leads the country in rushing defense. So tough to run on JMU, 6-1 again, and unbeaten in conference play. A couple of college football games tonight. But Hugh Freeze is coming off a game where they went on the road, Auburn does, at Arkansas. They switched quarterbacks at the end of the first half. All the second half was Ashton Daniels. Here's the Auburn coach talking about him sifting through the quarterbacks this week to come up with a starter and a plan for Kentucky.
Yeah, after watching film, going back and evaluating kind of the quarterback position, what's the thought process going into this week?
Yeah, I don't think there's any greater motivator than competition. And that's what it is. It's an open competition to see who prepares and plays the best. They both will split reps, and then we'll make a decision. There's a lot of good things that both did. I thought Ashton showed an incredible amount of poise. So really only graded him on 2 minuses. But I thought he showed great poise and leadership and a difficult time to come in the game when the momentum had totally shifted the other way, and thought he gave us a spark up until, Jackson's interception. Thought he played really, really well to that point. So it'll be exciting to see how they both respond and compete this week as we head into this game.
Yeah, but it's an open competition. How do you play it, Coach Taylor?
I mean, obviously Deuce isn't ready, which
I got a soundbite if you want to hear from that.
Yeah.
Okay, here's cut 2, because he did say it's open competition between those 2 guys. So the follow up is Hugh Freeze gets asked about Deuce Knight's place in the quarterback competition. The
guy everybody wants to see,
the big freshman star, the recruit.
Where does Deuce fall in all of this? Are you taking him out because you just said both? Referring, I'm assuming, to Ashton and
yeah,
Jackson.
I think I've said this publicly, and I mean it. I think Deuce is the future of this program. I don't know that it's fair to throw him in that right now. He probably would handle it great, and I'm certainly not saying we won't. He'll get a few reps too, but it's really hard to try to do that with 3 guys right now. And but I do firmly believe there's not many arms like Deuce Knight. He's got an elite one. Obviously, there's a lot of other things that go into playing the position of quarterback that he's quickly becoming very very better at understanding all of those, and I can't wait to see when he does get his opportunity.
I start wrapping my head around how Hugh's going to save his job, and then he says something like that. Like, Deuce would probably handle it well.
Yeah, but I'm not going to give him a chance.
And he's the future of this program. You're not playing for anything this year, so you need to play for the future and play for hope. It doesn't make any sense. And, again, I give Ashton credit. He didn't make any mistakes this past Saturday, but what the defense did for him won that game. And so I think, Hugh's in a situation now, Ashton or Jackson Arnold, the easy play to me is Deuce.
I am with Lance on this. Like, If everything he says about Deuce Knight isn't just, I'm trying to build up a guy that has not caught on yet, and I don't want to say anything negative about him because he's a freshman and all those things. If what Hugh says you take at face value, you're like, why not just put him out there then? If he is the future of the program, like at this point, I know what Hugh Freeze is playing for. Hugh Freeze is playing to save his job.
Yep.
But what is Auburn really playing for right now?
Yeah, nothing.
The future. And you hate that for the seniors. You hate to tell a senior, hey, I know these are your last 4 games, 5 games, whatever it ends up being, but we're playing for the future here. You guys you've given a lot to Auburn University, and I hope you can see the greater good here. But we're going to start focusing on the future, and that's not going to include you because you're a senior. But boy, I hope you'll still give max effort and build, help lay the foundation for what will follow you. But if I think Auburn fans are the point, like the only highlight remaining in this season is beating Alabama. Because even if you win the rest of them and go to a bowl, it's some crap bowl. If you're an Auburn fan, you didn't wake up in, August hoping you would end up in the Birmingham Bowl or the Shreveport Bowl or whatever bowl Auburn would end up in.
Yeah. Ashton Daniels is a senior. I mean, you can't redshirt him, right?
No. I don't know if he redshirted at Stanford. I don't know what his deal was.
So just to let you know, I mean, he has played a full 4 years, so he does still have eligibility.
I think you could redshirt him.
And he only had 6 attempts his first year.
So I'll give Zach Blackerby credit for this. I saw him talking about this yesterday. Do you start playing games with Ashton has now played in 2 games.
I had an Auburn fan tell me this last night.
And then Deuce has played in 1. Yeah. He could play in 3.
I had an Auburn fan tell me that he thinks you'll see Ashton and Deuce for 3 more games for each of them.
Right.
That Freeze will try to preserve the red shirt. Now, it's just an Auburn fan speculating. I'm not saying this is anybody reporting this.
Yeah.
This is just the road you're going down here, is that Jackson Arnold's still going to have to start and play a full game to preserve the red shirt for those other 2. Now,
so to answer my question earlier, have we seen the last of Jackson Arnold? If we're trying to keep everybody not losing a year of eligibility, the math works out. He's got to play 1 more game.
Now, where I would differ on that thought, if I'm Hugh Freeze or any coach, is if Deuce Knight is what I think he is, a red shirt's a wasted year. If that guy is that good, you really think he's going to play 4 full years in your program and not be in the NFL? If he's that good. He's either not good enough to be in the NFL or he's good enough to be in the NFL. If he's not good enough to be in the NFL, Lance, I'm probably not going to play him for 4 years. If he's good enough to be in the NFL, he's not going to be around for 4 years.
And I'm just confused with what Hugh just said. Like, if Hugh was very honest and said, hey, look, Deuce isn't where he needs to be right now to be considered a starter in this program. He's going to be great one day, but he's not there right now. But just say, you know what, if we threw Deuce out there, he probably handled the situation well. Well, what does that tell you if you're an Auburn fan?
Yeah. Let's see. Let's see if he does handle it well.
So
But let me just real quickly.
Okay, go ahead.
Jackson Arnold's a junior.
Uh-huh.
I'd like to know, speaking as an Auburn fan, did we make a 2-year deal with this guy?
Yeah, boy, you hope you didn't.
I think you did.
I don't think he would have left Oklahoma for a single-year deal. But
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do know what you're saying.
How locked in are people, like, are we getting close to a point where we have to do buyouts for players?
Yeah, I mean, one day, yeah.
Like, we don't want you around next year, dude. How about instead of paying you $2 million, we'll give you $1 million. You can go somewhere else and maybe make more money going somewhere else.
If you tried to thread this needle, you could start Jackson Arnold against Mercer, and then whoever's the best between Daniels and Knight play against Kentucky, Vandy, and Alabama. If you wanted to try to thread that needle.
Yeah.
Well, you are threading a needle between, what is 2 very average quarterbacks and a guy that we just haven't seen.
I mean, I don't understand that thought process personally. I think red shirts are so outdated now. Like, I don't know why I'm trying to preserve a red shirt for a quarterback.
So much so, Brown, that by the time we kick it off in 2026 or 2027,
I was about to say this.
We're going to have a rule that says 5 years to play 5 years, and everybody's going to be grandfathered in.
Yeah, I think red shirts will be extinct by the time Deuce Knight would even have to worry about a red shirt.
I agree.
And even if he did, again, I'll go back to it. You're thinking you can thread the needle. You've got Diego Pavia. Not good enough to be in the NFL, but a good college quarterback. I don't know if Diego Pavia is a good college quarterback, but he is for Vandy. I guess he is. I don't know. All I do is take shots.
He's a very good
very good college quarterback, but he'll never play in the NFL.
Never play in the NFL.
So is Deuce Knight that? I mean, how many of those guys actually exist where?
Well, he just talked about Deuce's arm special. Okay, we want to see it.
Yeah, I mean,
I bet Cam Coleman wants to see it.
Yeah, because you know what we haven't seen yet is a special arm.
That's right. No, that has not existed in Auburn's offense this year.
Yeah. All right, that's a little Auburn quarterback conversation. Before we get to Hugh commenting about his job security, I do want to hear about Central State Bank. Central State Bank, the great folks here locally that have been serving Shelby County and surrounding areas for a while now.
Yeah, we can tell you about Central State Bank because we can tell you from experience up here on the next round. It's who we're using, and for more than 100 years, they have built trust by staying true to what really matters. Personal service, local decisions, lasting relationships. That's what you want out of your bank. Central State Bank is proud to be large enough to serve you, small enough to know you. They are rooted in community. They are driven by relationships. They are Central State Bank, member FDIC.
Hey, and if you're looking for a place to watch Game 4 of the World Series tonight, maybe some of these college games, a little NBA action, you can do it with our friends at Twin Peaks, home of the legendary signature 29-degree drafts. Ours are 36 degrees right here in studio. But if you're trying to figure out lunch in just the next couple of hours, place to go for dinner, happy hour, do it at Twin Peaks. Speaking of happy hour, nobody does it like our friends at Twin Peaks. Whatever your preference, they've got everything. Tequila cocktails, extensive bourbon category to top shelf spirits and cocktails served over the ice balls, local craft beers and handcrafted whiskey cocktails. Round out that adventurous menu, second to none. And don't forget, Twin Peaks girls running around in 3D serving those 29-degree drafts. It's Twin Peaks.
While we were discussing yesterday on whether or not Hugh Freeze, how it's starting to feel maybe that Hugh Freeze was going to survive and be back next year, this and that, his news conference was beginning down at Auburn, and he got this question about whether or not he's had a conversation with athletic director John Cohen, who, remember, last we saw John and Hugh Freeze, they were arguing with the now ousted Ken Williamson leaving the field at halftime. Since then, haven't seen a whole lot of Hugh and John in the same place, have we? I don't know. Have you guys been talking? Here's the Auburn coach.
Coach, last night we got news that LSU is the third SEC team to move on from their head coach midseason here. You've advocated to be the one to, in your words, get this fixed here at Auburn. Since the win on Saturday, have you had a chance to catch up with John Cohen about where you stand and where the program stands and what you need to get it done?
No, I haven't. He was obviously excited for our win, and we celebrated together for a moment there on the field. But I don't get into those conversations because I just don't think it's how does that help, with our focus on what it should be on, and that's on these kids getting ready to win another football game. That's what you're hired to do. I think all of us that sign up for this know you're fighting for your life from the day one that you get into it. And I've been here just short of 3 years, and is the program better than when I got here on the roster? Yes. Are we close? Yes. And I've won everywhere I've been, and I believe with all my heart we're going to win big here. But my focus needs to be not on anything other than how do I help these young men grow this week as players and as young men, and how do I help our staff become even more united than they are, and they're pretty dang united. So that's where my focus lies, and I really don't have any desire to have any discussions about anything other than that.
So it's a pretty big departure from last week where a vote of confidence sure would be nice. Yeah. I mean, that's back-to-back weeks.
Well, I think after it's been a week, you're not going to get that vote of confidence.
Yeah, I mean, that was a very silent week from John Cohen's office. And other than a celebration on the field, you haven't really talked in depth, it sounds like.
But I would love to be, fly on the wall. Here's John Cohen after LSU fired, son of a bitch. What are we going to do now? Really, I mean, you get into a situation, if you're Auburn, are you going to be able to hire the guy you want to hire? And that is legitimate. And if you can't, then you need to stick with you. There's no reason to reset this thing if you don't know what direction you're going. I would say that.
What do you mean? Sorry, go ahead.
No,
what were you saying?
I don't think, if you've got your list of, and most responsible athletic directors have that list.
Yeah, list
but
of
if
coaches.
you've got 3, 4, 5, and you can't get any of the 3, 4, 5, and then you're just going to throw it against the wall, hire somebody that you're not sure is going to work.
Yeah, stick with him another year.
Yeah, I would give him another year.
Yeah.
Saves you money and maybe is best for the program. Interesting situation there. We'll talk after we hear from Clay and Joel about the betting favorites on the LSU job, what Lane Kiffin is saying about money, and is there a chance that Lane Kiffin could make history? I can't think of anybody in the SEC that has coached at 3 different conference schools. Lane could be that guy if he leaves Ole Miss. We'll talk about all that still to come after our Power Hour with Clay and Joel. Before the viewing menu, our friends at the Pants Store want to remind you, if you're heading down to Jordan-Hare this weekend, a different weather situation than your last home game, and if you're getting ready for LSU night game coming up in 2 weeks at Bryant-Denny, time maybe to get some of the sweatshirts and some of the quarter zips, some of the hoodies. You can get all that, some polos and hats for the holidays, all right there with the Pants Store. Famous name brands like Horn Legend, Cutter and Buck, Antigua and Gentile. Nothing says War Eagle and Roll Tide like the Pants Store. Locations in Auburn and Tuscaloosa, all over Birmingham, Huntsville, and anywhere online, pantstore.com, and free alterations for the girls and free gift wrapping this holiday season, and the fall boots and the dresses and all the platforms and sneakers and everything you need right there at the Pants Store. Pantstore.com. And the viewing menu brought to you by our friends at Michelson.
Michelson Laser Vision, 205-969-8100. If you wear the glasses, contacts, you're wasting money each and every year. I'm speaking from experience. I got the procedure done in 2003. Dr. Mark Michelson, the first to perform the LASIK procedure in the state of Alabama in 1995. Dr. Jen Michelson, they are the best in the business. 205-969-8100. Ask for Amy. Tell her the guys from the next round sent you. They're going to hook you up with an absolutely free consultation. 0 to lose to find out if LASIK is right for you. Again, 205-969-8100 or michelsonlaservision.com.
HBO released a new short documentary today called Country Doctor. Since 2010, over 140 hospitals in rural America have closed, leaving just one doctor for every 2,500 people. Country Doctor follows Dr. James Graham in Fairfax, Oklahoma, with a population of about 1,200, who has spent over 40 years dispatching medicine, comfort, and wisdom to his patients. With a severe lack of medical facilities in rural communities, Dr. Graham takes on multiple roles, dividing his time between Fairfax Hospital, a nursing home, and 3 clinics, one of which is 60 miles away and serves 4 counties. In addition, he makes house calls, treating an often poor and uninsured population. So this is going to go in depth into just the shrinking amount of medical facilities you see in these rural areas. A lot of larger investment firms are buying up hospitals in the cities, and they can pay more. And so you see a lot of medical personnel moving to the city for better wages. And so you end up with these pockets of areas where it's very hard to get good treatment.
And this sounds like it goes back to the way it used to be, where the traveling doctor would come around and you'd know he was there once a month or whatever. Yeah. That was not great for America.
Yeah, there's still home health care, but it's small, and it's more so for people who aren't able to get out of their house, either because of their injury or disabilities, stuff like that.
Scary time.
Yeah, boy,
I'm not getting political. Just scary time.
I think,
Pay attention to January. What's happening to your insurance, health insurance? You may see your check change a little bit. So be able to shop around if you can, if you're available.
Alrighty. Paramount Plus.
I just like the already.
Just trying to transition.
That's a tough transition. Tough transition for that, no doubt.
It's tough.
This show's built on awkward transitions, though, so don't feel bad about
That's
it.
True.
Yeah.
Paramount Plus.
It'll have you grabbing your junk. How about that?
All the time. Paramount Plus has added 30 Days of Night to its catalog. So if you're looking to get in the Halloween spirit and you like vampire movies, I recommend 30 Days of Night. It takes place in, I believe, Fairbanks, Alaska, and they have a period where it's dark for a long period of time. Hence
awful.
The title.
Yeah.
Brad, I've got it on DVD if you want to borrow it.
I don't have a DVD player. Okay. That does sound awful.
Yeah, vampires running around in Alaska.
Yeah.
It's a solid vampire movie.
Yeah.
And then if you're looking to get into that Halloween spirit, but you want to get the family together and watch something, HBO has added Gremlins to its catalog, and I love that movie.
Oh,
I
yeah.
watch it at Christmas time. I think it's a Christmas movie, too.
It is a Christmas movie.
Don't give them water after dark, right?
That's true.
That's right.
Is that right?
That is right. You
No, you don't feed them after midnight. Never put them in water.
Put them in water.
And then keep them away from light.
But you were close enough.
Close enough. Yes. All right. That's what Tyler's watching. Clay Travis on the other side to talk to us about probably something Tennessee. Brown will start him off with, and then we'll talk about other college football.
Big game for Tennessee this weekend.
Yeah, big game for Tennessee this weekend. Playoff implications on the line for the Vols and the Sooners. And then Clay talks to us about what happened with Brian Kelly at LSU, Joel Klatt on his big game, Penn State and Ohio State, and everything else on the show that's being brought to you by our friends at Inverness Country Club. LT, take us to break.
Inverness Country Club, they've got memberships that fit everyone. Maybe relocated to retired. Great place to network is the Inverness Country Club, from the social membership, the golf membership. It works out for everyone involved because they've also got the child care. So if you've got young kids, you want them safe right there on site when you're playing around the golf or you're having dinner with friends, you can do it at the Inverness Country Club. Best days happen at the Inverness Country Club. Reach out to our friend Aaron. Tell her the next round sent you. Very simple. You can go online, ICCalabama.com. That's ICCalabama.com for more information.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
Yo, kinfolk, what's good, man? Let me holler at you for a minute. You know how life can be life. You're out there chasing that dollar. Every dollar is accounted for going somewhere. Then all of a sudden, bam! Out of nowhere, a car accident. All I had to do was hit up my people at Alexander Shinara Trial Attorney. You already know when that dude Alex pulls up the trial, he shuts down the litigation situation. Yo, go to Shinara.com. Hit him up at 659-777-7777.
Call me, Alabama.
No representation that legal services provided are better than any other provider.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the Next Round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Get all your favorite Next Round gear all in one place. NextRound.store. From our Next Round hats to the logo tees to the all-time best-selling Y'all Can Have the Rest shirt. You can look your best by shopping with us at NextRound.store. Take the next round anywhere with NextRound.store.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090. Catch up on all today's Next Round on demand through the podcast platform of your choice, Apple, Spotify, iHeart, or Google Podcast, wherever you listen. Always like, follow, subscribe, and turn on automatic downloads so you never miss any part of the Next Round. Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between 2 warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
I think of Clay Travis in the weirdest times. Last night at dinner.
That is weird.
My wife made pot roast. And then as I was eating the pot roast, for some reason, I thought about Cracker Barrel, which made me think of Clay eating trout at Cracker Barrel.
I thought you ate Chick-fil-A last night.
Yeah.
You ate both?
Oh, I did, yeah.
Pot roast and Chick-fil-A?
I had pot roast. It was pot roast leftovers, lunch, late lunch.
Gotcha, yeah.
Maggie cooks a pot roast in what's it called? The crock pot with potatoes. And eating that yesterday, and I thought of Cracker Barrel.
And that makes you think of Clay.
And that always makes me think of Clay and his trout order.
Yeah, what an entryway to bring in Clay Travis on the Alexander Shinard Trial Attorneys Hotline, founder of Outkick. You see him on Fox as well. What is up, Clay? How are you?
I'm good. It was actually worse. It was salmon at Denny's. Trout at Cracker Barrel would be, I think, a far better choice.
You had rainbow.
Denny's.
You had rainbow trout at Cracker Barrel.
Yeah.
You just don't remember.
But that is better than trout at Denny's. I will give you that.
I mean, I think the trout. I mean, I think that Cracker Barrel will be on top of it compared to Denny's with salmon.
Yeah, that was a roll of the dice right there.
Hey, huge game this weekend. Playoff elimination, Oklahoma and Tennessee.
What are you doing? What are you doing? You criticize me for always starting Clay with Tennessee
I
questions.
figured it'd be better coming from me.
That was not where I was going to start, but go ahead.
Oklahoma, Tennessee, man.
There are a lot of potential playoff elimination games. I think I've been saying on your show, and I've been saying for a long time, if you get to 10-2 or better as an SEC team, I believe you'll be in the playoff. And right now, there are 9 teams still that have a hope of getting to 10-2 or better. Now, I think we're probably likely to only end up with 4 or 5 that are at 10-2 or better. But we are in that process right now. And so I would say that certainly the Tennessee-Oklahoma game is a default playoff game. And the Tennessee-Vanderbilt game at the end of the year, if Tennessee were to keep winning and Vanderbilt were to be in that category, which I think they would also be a potential playoff game. So all of that certainly at stake. And, that's what you really want to be in. November games where you're in the playoff mix, and there are 9 teams in the SEC that feel like they still have a heartbeat.
I said before the season with the whole quarterback situation for Tennessee, if Josh Heupel was to go 8-4 or 9-3, he's done a hell of a job. They're sitting at 6-2. They still have an opportunity, Clay. As you said, if they were to go 10-2, they probably get in. But has this been kind of a complicated year for Heupel as far as some questionable clock management against Mississippi State? Obviously, the end of the first half against Alabama. It seems like 6-2. They're ranked. He's doing a good job with that. But there have been moments that maybe we haven't seen in the past for Heupel. Is that fair?
Look, I mean, I think the season, unfortunately, is going to come down to that missed field goal kick against Georgia. Imagine if Tennessee makes that 42-yard field goal, even with a poor management against Alabama late in the half, Tennessee is sitting at 7-1 and has a mulligan still, in the Final Four where they could still go out and not play well. And I don't know, where would 7-1 Tennessee with a win over Georgia be ranked? Probably 5. Something like that, 4 or 5. And so that to me is the game where you go back and say he did almost everything right, notwithstanding, look, Georgia hits on the 4th and 6 when Tennessee's up 8 with 2 minutes to play. And then Tennessee comes back down and they give up the 2-point conversion, and then they miss the game-winning field goal. I mean, that was a kind of a calamity of errors there. But, look, I thought the single worst decision he's had all year was the decision at the end of the Alabama game, right, first half. If Tennessee just kicks a field goal there, that's a fourth quarter game, and who knows what might end up happening. You mentioned probably the worst game that Tennessee has played all year was the Mississippi State game. And the way that Heupel coached that late, I think there were a lot of questions about it. But with that, being said, I think the biggest issue is the defense is just not very good. It hasn't been talked about a lot, but Tennessee has lost both starting corners for the season, and they lost Jamad McCoy, who's expected to be a first-round pick, tore his ACL in the offseason. And then the other good corner, Ricky Gibson, has been out since the first half of the first game against Syracuse. So you talk about that 4th and 6 conversion. You got a true freshman out there at one corner, and they just haven't been very good defensively. It's unfortunate. I wish Tennessee had this offense last year when the defense was really, really good. That would be a national championship, I think, caliber team. But this year, the offense is capable of putting 40-plus up on basically anybody. And the defense at times is just out to lunch. So I think 9-3, if I'm predicting, is where I think Tennessee will end up. I think they'll beat Oklahoma. I think they'll lose to Florida, and I think they'll come back and beat Vanderbilt and finish 5-3 in the SEC with what will be disappointing is losses to all three of the major rivals. And if I were predicting, I think that missed field goal against Georgia will be the difference between Tennessee being a playoff team for a second straight year and not.
Clay Travis with us on the Alexander Shinara Trial Attorneys Hotline. I don't know where, but I think the net effect of all the coaching carousel is Lane Kiffin will end up as the highest paid coach in college football. Just don't know where. Assuming the money is equal everywhere and you're Jimmy Sexton, you tell Lane Kiffin to do what?
Probably take LSU. I mean, this is not getting into the personal lifestyle aspects of things, but I think there's a general consensus that LSU is such a good job that Les Miles and Ed Ogeron, who I don't think anybody out there would argue are elite coaching success stories relative to everyone else, right? I don't think anybody would ever have argued they're top 10 guys. They were both able to win a national championship there. And I think that speaks to the quality of the LSU job and just the oodles of talent that are sort of available down there. And I think he would come in the wake of the Brian Kelly experience where there was just never a good fit with a good fit. So if I were telling Lane Kiffin now, I think the complicating factor, and I feel like I'm the only person talking about this, but I don't know how you're going to take a job if you're a playoff coach. Because the first round of the playoff is December 18th, 19th, or 19th, 20th, right? Ole Miss would be probably they could get a bye, right? But let's presume that they're not one of the top four. They would be in line to be hosting a home playoff game in Oxford, would be favored to win that game, which means you're not coaching another game until New Year's Eve or New Year's, given what the transfer portal is going to look like. And given the signing period and everything else, I just don't understand how anybody can wait until potentially after the first of the year. And by the way, if you win, you're coaching again until when's the freaking January 19th or something? It's forever, right? I don't understand how you can be in the playoffs and coach and be able to take another job. So I actually think that's more complicated than people are talking about or letting on.
As shocked as I was about James Franklin, I was right there with Brian Kelly. I just didn't believe any of that. It was more Brian Kelly in year 4 is going to win a national championship than Brian Kelly being on a hot seat. At least I heard more of that in the offseason. With all that said, do you think that there is a path that Brian Kelly and James Franklin can both land big jobs in this offseason?
Yeah. I think look, Kelly is, I believe, 64. So I think that might give people a little bit of a pause just with his age. Franklin, I think, is 53, which is still relatively young. I mean, considering how many years he's been a head coach now. So I just don't know how many super successful available coaches there's going to be. Again, if you make the playoff, I think it's going to be hard for you to take another job. I think you're going to see a lot of guys that get huge pay increases to stay where they are. And if you are out there not making the playoff, how many guys are going to be really in successful spots that are available. So I think James Franklin, certainly if you're, the Virginia Tech or the Arkansas, of that world. Now, maybe Florida and LSU, and obviously Penn State because he's no longer there. Maybe Florida and LSU in particular sort of bide their time and have the opportunity to wait and see. But I just, look, there's not a crazy idea that Florida State's going to come open. Who knows what the situation's going to be at Kentucky? You guys well know if Auburn doesn't beat Arkansas, Hugh Freeze might have been fired this past weekend, right, with how things are going down there. And then that doesn't even consider the number of decent jobs that might open when guys decide, you know what, maybe I'll jump and go somewhere else. I just think it's going to be one of the craziest off seasons for coaching. I didn't even mention UCLA, who in the world knows what they're doing out there. But there's a lot of big brands that are going to be wide open.
In hindsight, right now, where we sit in college football, does Texas A&M paying $77 million to Jimbo Fisher look like money well spent with what they've got with Mike Elko in the program now?
Yeah, and I think that's part of the buyout situation where people, first of all, a lot of these guys have offset language, which means I know it's, everybody sits around and says, oh, my God, they're going to have to pay $50 million. Well, somebody's going to pay $8 or $9 million a year to James Franklin to be a head coach, maybe 10. So a lot of that money is going to get offset. I would imagine that Brian Kelly will probably get hired somewhere, and a lot of that money is going to get offset. So, so I don't know the full offset language with Jimbo Fisher and how exactly that all shakes out. But, if you have ever been in Texas A&M Stadium, there are so many billionaires that are fans of Texas and Texas A&M. Billionaires. And when you get into the billions of dollars, some of these numbers are just rounding errors to those guys. I know it sounds crazy, but if you are worth, a couple of $1 billion, $10 million to you is not much different than $1,000 to your average guy out there. And how many people who are fans right now of a top, like Auburn? If I told Auburn fans, hey, you'll be 8-0 in 2 years, how many Auburn fans would go into the bank account to get out hundreds or $1,000 to be able to be a part of that? So many of these guys are just rich on a different level that the money sounds big to normal people. The money doesn't actually sound that big to real super crazy wealthy people.
Clay, one of our opening segments today, we were talking about, it seems like more than half the things posted are AI. I don't know what's real and what's not. I saw a conversation with you and Buck Sexton yesterday. It couldn't have been real. It was something about men are now taking their women's maiden names.
Oh, yeah, this is happening.
That can't happen. That's impossible.
I said I would I think I said, I don't know if this has gotten picked up anywhere, but it wouldn't surprise me. But I said I would, take my boys out of the will if they got married and took the woman's name.
But
I'd be like, that's fine.
It can't be a real thing. It might have been one person in the world did that.
Yeah, it's not a trend.
No, there's a bunch of dudes doing this now.
There's no way.
They're Kamala voters, not surprisingly. A lot of white dudes for Harris in this camp.
This is where you take 3 instances on the planet Earth and make it a talking point.
Like there have been big articles about this. You can Google it. It's become a trend for people are also making up names, like they're hyphenating names. Anyway.
Let's talk about why my fruit doesn't taste good anymore when I buy it from the supermarket.
That doesn't make any sense.
No, it's happening. The New York Times and I think the Wall Street Journal have both had articles about it. I don't know how exactly.
And that's getting a sex change without getting a sex change, right?
But basically,
yeah.
Maybe there's people out there listening right now who've been to a wedding where this happens. But we got into that conversation because we were saying AOC is engaged, and we were speculating that AOC's fiance would take her last name and become. I think his first name is Riley, which probably doesn't surprise anybody out there. But Riley, androgynous name as he is, would certainly become Riley.
Riley Green on line 2, by the way.
That's right. Very
swims in it. Who swims in it, by the way.
He is Clay Travis. You can see him, founder of Outkick, and see him on Fox as well, and at Clay Travis on social media. Clay, thank you very much for the time. Have a great week.
I can't wait till you and I do a show together, Clay.
Oh, that would be fantastic. Would you do a show with Dunaway Clay for our
Clay
platform?
would do it. There's no way Dunaway would do a show with Clay.
I would do it, but I'm too dumb
that
to make my point, though. If I had a better IQ, I have good points. I just can't make them.
One person would call Dunaway out for it, and it would kill him.
You don't want to do it, Jim. Don't do it.
He would not do it.
No, I can't do it because I'm not smart enough. He would win every debate, but I have good points.
Yeah.
I just can't make them. In my head, I'm on the right side of America.
I'm just glad that you still have the last name Dunaway.
If it becomes a trend and they renew their vows, you never know.
Do it. It changes our whole show. We got to do it all new open.
No, I can't do it because
I couldn't look at him
It's
anymore.
a very German name, Han.
Yeah. I was going to say Maggie's maiden name is quite German.
I'm not man enough to carry a German last name.
You do. Clay's never heard the story about you asking for Maggie's hand in marriage. He would love
I think
this.
I told him one night when we were having cocktails in Atlanta that I asked my father-in-law for Maggie's hand in marriage, and he said no.
Oh, wow.
And never said
oh, wow. I've never
and never
heard
said
this.
yes.
Yeah.
And never said yes.
I mean, well, what is the next topic of conversation after that?
I literally clapped my hand awkwardly like I did. We were outside, and I was like, I don't know what to do now. And he was like, well, let's go in and talk about it. And an hour later, still had not changed his mind.
Still
to
no.
the point that I'm not good at making my points.
Wow. That is,
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty brutal.
Yeah.
I don't even know, I certainly asked, but I didn't even comprehend that the answer might be no.
Me either.
Most people
I was on my way to do local TV. I just thought it would be like a 10-minute conversation.
On my way to do local TV. You just dropped by.
Did you make it on time to TV?
I did, but it wasn't a great sports.
So then, but wait, what happens when he says no and then you still propose? Like, is he an enemy for life? I don't know. Like, what happens?
I've told Jim
he's
that
a really nice guy, and
you won, Jim. I've told you this a million times. You won this thing.
He's a really nice guy. And
right, but I mean,
he
what
may
is
be
that
listening
like?
right. He may be listening right now, very close to where you are, down on 38.
Yeah, very low.
But hold on. So when she shows up and you are now engaged, and she's like, "Hey, Dad, look at my engagement ring."
Yeah.
Like, what does he say?
I'll be here when he breaks your heart. I guess I don't know.
You won. I'm telling you, you won.
I'm not saying I don't think he thought we'd be around 27 years
That's right.
later.
And here we are.
Yeah.
And here we are.
Well,
here we are.
It's a love story, the likes of which we've rarely seen.
Rarely.
Yes. That's the way it was in the Han Dunaway wedding. Was it okay to have her name? Was it okay to have her name first in the?
She was definitely the visiting team.
Yeah.
You go
I don't
first.
know. What would you have said if he had been like, "I'll say yes, but you have to take my name"?
I don't know.
Have you ever heard of Clay
She runs
Travis?
the household now, though, Clay. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
The German beats my Southern roots every time. She wins every battle. All right, Clay.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Clay.
man. We'll
See
see
ya.
you, buddy. Bye.
All right, Clay
All
with
right,
us.
Clay.
Clay with us on the Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys Hotline.
Yeah, the show being brought to you. Quick break here. Joel Klatt on the other side by our friends at Storm Restoration Roofing. Andrea Nelson. Greg took Andrea's last name. I'm sure, right? 10 kids. No, it's a fighting Nelson family there. Andrea and Greg, they own this thing for over 20 years, locally owned, and both of them worked so tirelessly to help you as a young family homeowner. Maybe you're middle-aged, maybe you're getting up in years, but that home is still so important to you, right? And that roof is the most important part of the home. And it goes through heck down here in the South with the heat and the cold and the wind and the rain. You need a free, no-cost roof inspection, and that's what Storm Restoration Roofing can do for you. Absolutely free. Go on their website, stormrestorationroofing.com, or call Greg Nelson up, 205-542-3531, or Greg from Pell City on Facebook. You'll find a company that is absolutely A-plus rated with the Better Business Bureau. They handle storm damage, roofing replacement, and Greg even has a builder's license, so he can help you with restoration and repairs. Great with the insurance agencies, locally owned for over 20 years. It's Greg from Pell City, 205-542-3531, and our friends at Storm Restoration Roofing.
Follow Scott Forrester on Twitter @ScottForresterTV.
Yo, kinfolk, what's good, man? Let me holler at you for a minute. You know how life can be life. You're out there chasing that dollar. Every dollar is accounted for going somewhere. Then all of a sudden, bam! Out of nowhere, a car accident. All I had to do was hit up my people at Alexander Shinara Trial Attorney. You already know when that dude Alex pulls up the trial, he shuts down the litigation situation. Yo, go to Shinara.com. Hit him up at 659-777-7777.
Call me, Alabama.
No representation that legal services provided are better than any other provider.
What are you waiting for? It's non-stop gaming action at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Come play more than 900 of the latest and greatest games around, featuring fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can wager and win on horse and greyhound races from all over the world. There are more ways to win at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Birmingham Racecourse Casino, located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from the Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie-cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090. Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
Next Round shirts, Next Round hoodies, and Next Round hats are all in one place. NextRound.store. Find your favorite piece of gear from your favorite show and put it in your rotation. You never know. You might be in one of our videos showing Next Round gear being worn all over the world. Find all your favorite Next Round gear by visiting NextRound.store. Place an order for you and that big Next Round fan in your life at NextRound.store. Look your best at work, at school, at the stadium, or anywhere you go wearing Next Round gear from NextRound.store.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between 2 warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
Finally, the game we've waited on all year, Penn State and Ohio State. Big noon kickoff this week.
Boy, in the preseason, this one looked like a honey. Joel Klatt will be there. Klatt, I mean, in the preseason, this was one we circled. Like, boy, you're going to want to watch this one. Big Ten implications, national championship implications.
Number 1, number 2.
Could it be 1-2? Gosh, how Penn State screwed that up for you guys.
Man, how fast everything changes in this sport. You know, it was. I think it was 15 days from the time Penn State jogs on the field in the double overtime with a chance to win the game. Their offense is jogging on the field, a chance to win the game against Oregon in the whiteout. 15 days later, James Franklin is fired. You know, think about LSU beating Clemson. I know that's a longer period, but all the way back to week 1, and LSU is like, oh man, this is a top 5 team. This is it. Brian Kelly's national championship caliber team. They lose 3 of their last 4. He's fired. You know, I mean, it just happens so. Life comes at you fast, man.
It does.
In college football, it is going faster than ever. And so, yeah, this is obviously a game that we thought was going to have a lot more implications. But I will say, and the games that some of these teams have lost, specifically Penn State, like against UCLA, I've said this, I continue to say this. I think that the average and even like poor teams in college football have more talent than they used to in the past, which makes every game a bit more precarious for the top end teams, which we've seen at times, and some of these games that are really close that we don't expect to be close. So this one will be a good one. I'm fully expecting Penn State to play their best football.
So Penn State unranked at 3-4, Vanderbilt 7-1, number 9. Now watching that game this past weekend, If Bo doesn't go down on the goal line, I thought Missouri was the better team. But still, it was a very, very good win, top 15 win for Vanderbilt. With that said, Joel, I got to bring up this scenario to you because I know you're always the guy that is viewed as anti-SEC for whatever reason. I have brought this scenario up twice on this show. Imagine this. Vanderbilt is 10-2. Notre Dame is 10-2, and they are battling for the last playoff spot. Who gets it? Vanderbilt with the 4 top 25 wins or Notre Dame with no top 25 wins?
Yeah, I think that's going to be the truest test to whether this thing is an invitational and brand equity and what does that mean? That's a really difficult question. And by the way, that would also mean that Vandy is losing at some point between now and then. You know, so the timing of the loss, which we've always talked about timing. Let's forget about, brand perception and everything. Timing of losses are always going to hurt you worse than just losses in general. And in this case that you're painting, Notre Dame would be coming off of 10 straight wins. The fashion that Notre Dame is winning, I think, is pretty impressive. That's a great question. I tend to believe that they would lean towards Notre Dame. But I don't really know. I will say this, like I've played out, so I'm going to record today, a little bit later today, my last projection for a bracket before we start getting to actual rankings. And so I started going through and I would just play everybody's schedule out. See, I've got like all these records in here and all this stuff. And I just started playing it out. And I think that Vandy is going to stub their toe twice.
Oh, boy.
Like, I think that they're going to go 9-3. But I could be wrong. There's something like Tennessee at Tennessee. I don't love that game for Vandy. It was just the way that the Missouri game played out. Because to your point, I thought Missouri was really the better team, and Vandy escapes having to face a backup quarterback, and they win by a foot. So I don't know. We'll see. I think Vandy might.
But this weekend, real quick, before Dunaway gets to his point, you're going to Texas. Talking about brands, it's night and day. Texas has now won back-to-back road games in overtime against teams that are combined 6-9, and they haven't won a conference game. So the better team is Vanderbilt. If you can wrap your head around that, they're getting 1.5 in this spot. But is this one of the two stubbing of the toes you think is this weekend in Austin?
That's what I had. When I play it out, I have Vandy losing to Texas and Tennessee. And partly because I do think Texas's defense is going to be uniquely suited to handle Pavia just because of their athleticism. That's still one of the top 5 defenses in all of college football, I believe. Now, obviously, on the offensive side, who knows what you're getting from Texas on any given day. The fourth quarter was the best that offense looked all year. I think you guys would agree with me, and the best Arch probably looked all year. And then he goes down. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like what are we going to do? And then Sark gives that comment after the game. And the whole time I was like, I was waiting for him to be like, it's unequivocally false and not true. And he never said that. All he said is it was ridiculous. You know, were you guys with me?
Oh, we did talk about. I pointed it out on the air. We played it twice. I was like, you notice he didn't. We call it gaslighting. He didn't answer the question.
Yeah.
He lectured us on how to do our jobs, but he never said.
There was a lecture, and it was ridiculous, and I was like,
yeah.
Wait a second. Was there not
And I made the point because Arch is not going to the NFL, and you got to clean up that mess if you stay there. That's a tough cleanup to move on from Arch Manning. I want to ask.
Not benching Arch Manning.
You would think, absolutely. I feel cheated, and it's probably on my fault, but I feel cheated that this Ohio State team, I believe, is really, really good. Maybe 3 of the best players in college football, and I don't get to see them in peak games in a great schedule on a week in and week out basis. Am I wrong about that? Am I just not paying enough attention? But I feel cheated. I'm not getting to see this team challenged more.
I think that's fair. I think that has a couple of things. I think that I do think that the middle of the conference is underrated in the Big Ten. Now, everyone that's listening is going to be like, of course you do. But I think that that's the case. Like, beating Washington the way that they beat them, I think is a quality win. And in particular, holding that offense to what they did. Not many have done that. So that's number one. But then I think it also speaks to kind of the complete nature. They're almost just like boringly good.
Yep.
Because there's not a ton of weaknesses on that team. Like let me give you an example. And if you did just like a side-by-side comparison with Alabama and Ohio State, and you started looking at these teams, and listen, take my, I call Big Ten games, just these 2 teams, and how they're built, the way they play. Defense, not even close. It's really not even comparable, right? I think we would all agree with that. Ohio State's defense is clearly the best defense in college football. They've got 2 of the best players in the sport, and then another 2 that are probably All-Americans. So they got 4 All-American caliber players on that defense. They've given up 41 total points in 7 games. Bama's defense is not that. I think we can all agree on that. Then you go to the run games, and you can say, like, well, they're comparable, but the edge is probably to Ohio State. I mean, Bama's 15th in the SEC in rushing in conference games. Teams. I'm looking at some of these numbers, and I'm like, hold on a second. LSU and Oklahoma run it better per carry in conference games. I'm like, what? That's so. Even though Ohio State's not great running the football, they're better by an average of a yard per carry than Alabama. And then you go to Bama's got the passing game edge, and you're like, well, do they? Both of these teams have an elite passing game, and so the margin between what is right now, what is Alabama, 3 in the country?
Number 4 in the AP poll.
4 in the AP.
4. Yeah, 4 behind A&M. The margin between the number 1 team in the country and the 4 team in the country is actually kind of wide right now, because there are some clear issues with Bama. If Ty Simpson and the passing game don't play elite football, they are susceptible to be beat, which we saw this last weekend. That was one of his 2 worst performances of the season from a completion percentage standpoint. Now, he didn't turn it over from an interception perspective, but they still struggled. If you look at the numbers against Florida State and South Carolina, they're like identical, almost identical. And guess what? All of a sudden you're in this tight game. I don't know why Shane Beamer didn't go for 2. I thought that was an incredible mistake at the end of the game, up 7 and not going for 2. But you compare Ohio State and Alabama, and it's not terribly comparative. And if you want to say that's just the fault of the schedule, that's fine. But I don't think that that's what the film suggests.
Yeah. For the record, I do think they're the best team. I was just saying I feel cheated that I'm not getting to watch them play really good games every week.
You're saying what people are countering Klatt with is, well, okay, well, who have they beaten?
Yeah, but
who have they beaten?
But we did this with Alabama sometimes.
Listen, that's fair. I'm not trying to say that that's wrong. I'm really not trying to pound the table or anything like that. I think I do think that even in a year in which the middle of the Big Ten hasn't elevated, Ohio State has. So their margin above other teams is just greater. And I think my point was like, oh, well, we feel like, oh, Bama's been tested and everything. Yeah, but they're closer to the middle of their conference, obviously, because they're flawed in many respects. And we don't have those obvious flaws with the Buckeyes.
By the way, Beamer,
I'm trying to be as fair as I am. I'm always the Big Ten guy.
Yeah, I'm just glad Indiana doesn't have Ohio State's schedule. I'm glad Indiana, because I had a guy this weekend was like, they got to play somebody. I'm like, they just beat Oregon and Austin. Like, Indiana is legitimate.
Illinois was a top 10 team when they beat them by 53 points.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, at some point, don't you have to just be like, okay, like it's a good football team. Yeah, they might not have played Oklahoma's schedule, but it's a really good football team.
By the way, Beamer did go for 2, down 14-12 with 30 minutes of football left. I'm like, what are you doing? Kick the point, make it a 1 point. There's 30 minutes of football left.
Well,
you really think you got to go for 2 there?
And then late, you go.
Then you don't.
Go up 7.
I know.
Like what?
Yeah.
I don't understand it. There's very little risk in going for 2 there, because if Bama scores, they probably are just going to kick the extra point. So, like, worst case scenario, you probably still go to overtime. Now, that has to disregard the turnover, which is a great job stripping the football by Bama. There's no doubt.
Joel Klatt is with us. College football on Fox. You'll see the big noon kick, Ohio State, Penn State on Saturday, 11 o'clock Central, noon Eastern there on Fox with Klatt and Gus and the All-American girl. They'll all be there.
Who's getting the LSU job, boys?
Well, that's a good question. I mean,
I'm posing it to you. I'm just going to bring it up.
I've said this many times. This is going to me, the end result's going to be Lane Kiffin's your highest paid coach in America. I just don't know where.
Yeah, I think that's the leverage. I actually would disagree. I think Dan Lanning will be the highest paid coach in America.
Where?
I would say 60-40 Oregon.
Okay. The 40 would be 20 LSU, 20 Florida for you, or all LSU?
All LSU.
Okay.
Dan's not leaving Oregon to go to Florida.
What a kick. I mean, Oregon doesn't fire their coaches outside of Helfrich. I mean, they just leave for other jobs.
They all leave. Why do they all leave, Klatt? Why have all Oregon's coaches left?
Well, part of it is that they continue to hire guys that have, like, roots and ties elsewhere.
Yeah.
You know, that was the case, obviously, with Mario and others. And it kind of the case with Dan, because he cut his teeth in the SEC. Now, here's the other part of this. Dan really loves the support he gets because it's substantial. That's number one. His family loves it in Eugene. Kids, wife love it in Eugene. And part of the reason that they love it is they can go to dinner, guys. And that's not the case at other places, right? And I'm talking about have a bit of a life. It just kind of is now you could say, well, that just means that they're not as passionate there. No, it's just different. It's just a totally different style of deal. And then he just has to continue to wonder to himself, is it too difficult to bridge the travel gap to get elite players? That's the only downside to Oregon, is just the distance that you've got to bring players in to try to get them. But everything is there from a resource perspective. My contention would be that LSU is a top 3 job. This is as I think that Ohio State and Texas are the 2 best jobs in college football. I think LSU is the 3rd best job in college football. I think Georgia is 4. And then you're starting to argue about where does Bama fit in? Where does Tennessee fit in these types of scenarios? Where does A&M fit in? But this is a big boy. So you can say he turned down Alabama, but LSU is a different breed. I think LSU has more financial support than Alabama. They've got the equal recruiting footing. They've got great tradition, although not Bama's, obviously, but great tradition. So this is going to be – I think that Dan Lanning is going to have to turn down $15 million a year in order to not go to LSU.
15 a year.
Because you brought up Oregon and Washington, I want to circle back. I was doing a show on Saturday, and I said, Damon Williams, I was asked about Illinois and Washington. I said, there's going to be weeks that he plays like one of the best quarterbacks in all of football, but you're going to see some inconsistencies this year. I said next year, it will be almost every week this guy will play like one of the best quarterbacks. He did it again this past week. They got their first win of substance against Illinois going away. With that said, before the season, you talked about them being a dark horse. You start to look at that. The next 3 games, they're going to be favored 7+. They're going to be 9-2 more than likely, hosting Oregon, a team that Washington in Husky Stadium has had a lot of success against. That could actually be a play-in game if Oregon stubs their toe against USC. But do you think Washington is a team that has playoff potential?
At full strength, yes. Now, you could say, like, no, I saw that game against Michigan. They had a couple of offensive linemen out, and I know that's an excuse, but you guys all know that teams are way different. I think that's the one injury outside of a quarterback that can impact you faster than any is offensive line injuries. I was actually texting with Jed earlier this morning, and we were talking about the difference in their team when they're healthy up front versus when they were banged up. I gave dark horse because I do think that they're really good and they're underrated from what the nation kind of expects of Washington. They're really good at home. And here's the thing is that everyone wants to lament these Big Ten schedules. Oregon's schedule is really tough coming down the stretch. Oregon still has to go to Iowa. They've got to host USC and they have to go to Washington. Those are not going to be easy games for Oregon. So there's no guarantee that Oregon isn't a 10-2 team or maybe even 9-3 team at the end of this. So Oregon's going to have to really do some work here towards the end of the year. And if they do stub their toe against Washington, then Washington could be a 10-2. By the way, Michigan's schedule lines up for them to be a 9-2 facing Ohio State. And that would be a win and in, I believe, in that regard too. And just by the way, just so you guys know and you guys could banter about this, I think the SEC finishes like this: A&M 12-0, 8-0, Bama 11-1, 8-0, UGA 11-1, 7-1, Ole Miss 11-1, 7-1. Vandy 9-3, 5-3, Texas 8-4, 5-3, Tennessee 10-2, 6-2, OU 8-4, 4-4, and I think you guys get 5 in with Tennessee getting the 10 seed.
Wow. So then you would have 3 Big Ten and Notre Dame. Is that the way you would do that?
I did have I had this group. I had the last 2 spots between 5 teams: 11-2 Georgia Tech, 11-2 BYU, 10-2 Oregon, 10-2 Tennessee, 10-2 Notre Dame. And I gave, for 3 spots, and I gave those 3 spots to Oregon, Tennessee, and Notre Dame.
So it'd be Oregon, Indiana, Ohio State.
Sorry,
the Big Ten.
Sunshine in there.
That's quite all right. Sunny day. Not here, but in Southern California.
So does that mean
I left out Georgia Tech, BYU out of that at 11-2.
So that means you had Miami winning the ACC and
That's
Texas
right.
Tech winning the Big 12?
Yeah, I have Tech beating BYU twice.
Okay.
Hey,
interesting.
Just
I like
'cause
that.
Former professional baseball player, did you stay up and watch the end of Game 3?
I was going to ask you that.
I couldn't do it.
I couldn't do it either.
I was.
And you're on the West Coast. Imagine that.
That was midnight for you. I was up till 2
how do you
a.m.
guys say, I actually turned it off probably moments before Freddie hit that home run. So I made it into the 18th. And I was like, I can't.
Wow.
How do you make it to the 18th?
Yeah, you got to go to the finish.
You got to shut it down at some point.
No, you go to the, once you've done 18 innings, you're like, well, I'm going to see
By the way,
this through.
can I give a quick rant?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sorry, here, hold on.
Hey, while you're doing that,
Gotta get some of the sunshine.
before you rant, my favorite, I was telling these guys this, my favorite part was when Verducci or whatever the sideline guy is, when they go down to him and he says, Dave Roberts says that if it goes to the 19th, it's going to be a position player. He doesn't know who yet. And then next thing you know, when they come back from commercial, Yamamoto is warming up in the bullpen after pitching a complete game. And I was telling them, I got chills. Like, what a teammate moment. You're in the dugout and he's talking about which position player he's going to put in and have a guy that probably stand up and says,
I'm good.
Man, I'll do it. Well, you just pitched 9 innings. I got chills when he was just warming up in the bullpen. And that was 2 in the morning.
When big leaguers act like little leaguers.
Yeah, no
that's
doubt.
my
So
favorite
good.
thing is when big leaguers act like little leaguers. So quick rant, and then I got to go. Do you remember what was it? The 90, what was it? 90 96, 97 NBA Finals. What was it? Bulls, Jazz. Jordan's last year, was that 98?
No, that was 97. No, it was
97.
98.
Okay. But they played a couple of times,
Yeah,
so
right.
one of those. Do you remember guys on that last possession when Utah was just like, oh, no, Jordan can't shoot this time? Of course not. So watching Shohei Ohtani just get intentionally walked on the biggest stage in baseball is a problem for baseball. That is like the word. And so then we've got all these guys like, who's this guy? Will Call or whatever his name is. And they're like, he got bought a pitching machine during COVID and really worked on his game, and he's going to decide the World Series and not Shohei Ohtani. Hey, Steph Curry, you don't get to take a shot. Hey, Tom Brady, no, 2-minute drive? No, you go over there. You don't get to do the 2-minute drive. We eliminate the stars in baseball at the biggest moments.
So you would limit intentional walks? You get like 2 a game or something like that?
Of course.
That's interesting. I've never even thought about
I've never thought about that either.
It's not a bad idea.
And that would have been something they would have implemented with Barry Bonds back
No
then.
doubt, yeah.
Barry, this happened all the time. And it's like everyone pays to come see your stars.
That's
your
true.
league is your stars.
Yeah, you make a great point.
Actively diminishes the role of their stars in the biggest moment of the games and of the season. It's crazy. I've thought this my entire life. Listen, I would be dragged to this point because I hate intentional walks altogether. You could drag me to like you get 2 a game, or something like that. It's like a challenge or something. It's like, but you can't just every time he comes up, they're like, oh, put him on, put him on. It's like, this is so dumb. What are we doing? Hey, Jordan, no, not this time. Pass it. Pass it. You gotta pass it.
Yeah, I've never thought of this, but Klatt makes an amazing point.
I loved it. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
I was like,
we limit throwovers to first. We limit mound visits now. Let's limit intentional walks. I don't disagree with you at all. I like that.
Joey's 4 for 4, and they're just like, it's like that's not the game.
Yeah.
Well, then you're not competing against their best. Oh man, I hate it.
I
I
like
hate it
this.
when my team used to intentional walk.
Yeah.
I can't stand it.
I like this idea. Klatt's onto something here. Yeah. All right, Joel Klatt, you'll see him on Ohio State, Penn State on Saturday, the Big Noon Kick on Fox. Thank you very much, Klatt. Have a great week.
See you, boys. Have a great day.
All right, buddy. You too. We'll see you next week. Klatt with us on the Alexander Shinara Trial Attorneys Hotline.
Yeah, but just the thought of having to intentionally walk somebody so good, you're intentionally walking them in the World Series in the 9th, 11th, and 15th.
That's the
when
thing.
there's nobody on base, you're putting the winning run on base. It's insanity.
So there is strategy there. So like I see what Joel's saying, but at the same time, that's a major risk.
That's right.
Every time you're doing it.
And I can't remember the outs. One of them was to start an inning. I mean, how you don't bunt and then take a couple of whacks at getting him home from second. It's just such strategy. But I understand.
I mean, but he's right. I mean, how do you take the bat out of your biggest star's hands actively as a sport?
We've blown up stolen bases now because you only throw over to first base one time.
It should be easier than ever to steal a base.
But I mean, that was a pivotal moment too, where Shohei got hosed out. He ended up going off the bag, and they reviewed it, but it was obvious that he was out. But it just seems like some of these guys in these situations, it's almost a given. You're 20 to 26 regular season. It's like an 85% free throw shot.
How about, and I don't think I've ever seen this early in the game when the guy thinks he's walked. So the guy gets.
Bo Bichette.
Yeah, Bo Bichette
gets a horrible call.
Oh, the ball strike?
Ball 4, yeah.
Yeah, it was ball 4, but then the guy's caught off first because he thinks he's going to second.
That's right. He turned his back because the guy's going down first, and apparently the ump didn't give me a loud strike call.
Yeah.
And it was such a bad call.
I've never seen that before. Have you?
We'll never see it again because we get robo-ups next year, and they'll be able to challenge it.
Yeah, that was crazy.
They'll be able to challenge the ball strike, so we'll lose a little bit of that nuance. But that was a big moment in the game.
I've
early
never
on.
seen a guy get picked off first because he thought the batter had got walked and he's on his way to second. I've never seen that.
He was
much
walking.
less in a World Series.
Yeah. It's insane. All right, before we do 4 downs. The show being brought to you by our friends at Hemp Hill Services LT. They bring you 4 downs today.
Yeah, hey, this cool weather is here. I don't think it's going above 61 today. You need to make sure the heat is ready to keep up with this changing weather. Whether it's the heat, the plumbing, the cooling, any of these issues in your home or business, they are ready to serve you. Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there, 205-229-2090. Hard to stop a train. For more information, hemphillservices.com.
First down.
Brad Paisley, 53 years old. Really, the only thing I know about him is he was married to the bride and father of the bride. And no, he wasn't.
He was.
Yeah, he was.
married to
Okay.
Kimberly Williams.
Yeah.
her name.
Yeah, still is, right?
And
I think they are married.
He wears a really, really tight hat, and he does the commercials with Peyton Manning. But
Yeah,
he's
all those
53.
things. Yeah.
So if I asked you guys are the country music guys, Brad Paisley or Brad Stevens?
Okay.
Better career.
Who's Brad Stevens?
The guy that took Butler to back-to-back national championship appearances and built the front office for the Boston Celtics.
Yeah.
They just won a championship a couple of years ago.
I'm not a Hughes Paisley fan.
Yeah, I think Brad Stevens had the better career. Brad Paisley's music, I've never. Now he did. He was one of the singers on maybe the saddest song you will ever hear. He and the girl. Oh, what is her name? They did Whiskey Lullaby.
Alison Krauss.
Alison Krauss. Yeah. Hey Brooks, that's maybe the saddest song ever.
It is. I was going to add in that Brad Paisley is probably one of the top 5 guitarists of all time in country music.
Oh, look out now.
Yep.
So I think that moves him up the ranks there.
Is he a better guitarist than Keith Urban? I'm just asking. I have no idea.
They're probably in line with each other.
Okay.
Those two, Vince Gill, I would probably put in my top 3 guitarists in country music history.
I would tell you I don't like Keith Urban much either. I mean, I like both of them. They seem to be great guys, and both of them married to famous actresses.
Yeah.
But
okay, Alston.
Mud on the Tires, is that his other than Whiskey Lullaby? Big difference, big gap between Whiskey Lullaby and Mud on
Witty
the Tires.
songwriter, too.
Austin sent us this before the show started. It is so incredibly weird you brought up Brad Paisley on the show today. There have been 2 18-inning games in World Series history, and apparently Brad Paisley sang the national anthem at both of them.
Wait, what?
He did it last night?
That's what they said. I did not see the anthem. I'm assuming he did because he did the anthem. All right.
I did this last night, by the way. Didn't even realize he had sang the national anthem. I just knew he was 53 today.
He sang last night.
Did he? He sang the anthem? Okay. Yes. According to this guy, he also sang it Game 3 in the 2018 World Series, which was also in 18 innings.
Also in Los Angeles with the Red Sox.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Do need to point out.
Now, he sent it, Game 2 of 2017 went 11. Game 1 of 2022 went 10. He sang the anthem in all these. So if you bring in Brad Paisley to sing the anthem, it's going to go extra innings in the World Series.
The alcohol sales cut off the top of the 7th.
Do they still do that?
Yeah. They were there a long time with no beer.
Yeah, everybody got sobered right up, didn't they?
And no runs. What did I say? 7th inning? Yeah, from the 8th through the 17th, a whole game of no runs and no alcohol. Yeah.
Thank you, Austin Witt, for sending us that. It was so random that you would have that on the same day as Brad Paisley's birthday.
I'm going to go back Brad Paisley over Brad Stevens because for about 5 years, he and Carrie Underwood hosted that Country Music Awards show.
Okay.
And they sort of changed the way they do that, and they made it very funny, and they did a lot of singing skits and bits and stuff. So I'm going to go back to Brad Paisley.
I'm going to take Brad Stevens.
I think I'll go Brad Stevens, but it's close. Yeah. You've made it closer there.
Second down.
Good celebrity birthdays, by the way. Julia Roberts, 58 today. Julia Roberts or Lamar Jackson when it's all said and done?
Oh, Julia Roberts had a heck of a career. I think I'll go Julia Roberts. You know, she's won an Academy Award. Was she?
Oh, yeah.
Aaron Brockovich, is that right?
Yeah.
And that would be the equivalent of being a Super Bowl champion, which Lamar has not done, and I don't know that
or
he's
an
ever going to.
MVP, and he's won.
He's won MVPs, but
multiple MVPs.
But I think any player you ask, would you rather be Super Bowl champion, quarterback, or MVP? Which one?
Well, Super Bowl.
Yeah. So to me, that's the equivalence there.
Pretty Woman, Pelican Brief.
She's done a ton. I'd go Julia Roberts. Better career than Lamar Jackson.
I like Julia Roberts.
I'm going to lean Julia Roberts.
Yeah, me too.
Third down.
Joaquin Phoenix, 51. Joaquin Phoenix or Freddie Mercury?
He's only 51?
Yeah.
Freddie Mercury's career cut very short. When I say very short, how old was he when he died?
Freddie was in his 50s, early 50s.
Yeah, so not very short. I mean, Queen
40s.
had already had a tremendous amount of success.
They critically were always panned. Like, I was a big Queen fan growing up. Yeah. Like,
so they're more appreciated now than they were in their time?
Yeah, 100%. Like, I don't think they were ever nominated for a Grammy, ever.
Wow. Well, they did some good work to
and like all these young kids are winning Grammys now. The Benson Boone kid, y'all know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah, I've heard of Benson.
Very, very talented. But I didn't realize that he's like an acrobat. I saw this.
An acrobat?
I saw this clip from the Grammys. It was one of the craziest things, dude. He like takes his clothes off, runs up stage, jumps on the piano, and does a full flip while he's singing.
Are you sure this is not AI? Was Johnny Manziel flipping with him?
I think it was legitimate. It could be. It could have been AI.
Was Johnny Manziel playing the piano?
It could have been fake because it's Benson Boone.
Boone. Okay.
I have a feeling that his popularity is mainly artificial.
Oh, I don't know, man.
I think a lot of his numbers are just bots. I think he's a plant.
Okay, I don't necessarily like his music, but his voice is incredible. Like, He's got incredible range, and if he can do them flips on stage, man, you need to Google that. It's crazy.
What was the question? Better career what?
Better career, Freddie Mercury or Joaquin Phoenix? I think I'm going to go Freddie Mercury.
I think I'll go Joaquin Phoenix. Very well-respected actor.
Yeah, he is, no doubt.
Yeah.
In Gladiator, one of my favorites of all time, and I thought he had the best performance in it. But I think Freddie's going to live on a lot longer.
And see, I think his performance in Walk the Line is actually
what
better
I was about to say.
than Gladiator.
Well, and Joker, the original Joker, he was incredible.
I haven't seen the Joker, but Walk the Line, he was Johnny Cash.
Yeah, I love that.
And I'm a Johnny Cash fan, so I was going to watch that done away, wanting to tear it apart. And I watched it, I'm like, dang, he's Johnny Cash.
Joaquin Phoenix for me. Yes.
Yeah, I go Joaquin.
4th down.
You've seen Walk the Line, right?
Oh, yeah. Got it on DVD? Okay, so just process this for a second.
All right.
Bill Gates is 70 today.
Yep.
Bill Gates or Shohei Ohtani?
Okay, so one of the favorite arguments among the panelists here in 4 Downs is somebody would have invented it at some point anyway. So that's what's going to get said at some point here about Bill Gates.
So I just want to bring this up. I was going to go Barry Bonds because Barry Bonds is the best player I've ever seen, but I think Ohtani might end up being that guy. So if Ohtani is the best player in our lifetimes, which I think that is definitely on the table, and he's about to win another championship. His first 2 years, he was when he was with the Angels, nobody even knew anything about him. But now when he's with a relevant organization, he's about to win back-to-back World Series championship.
So somebody answer this question for me. I'm going to see if Tyler will answer it. I think you're the best answerer of this question.
Oh, and by the way, he's going to be a billionaire too.
Who?
Shohei.
Yeah. Delayed payments, but yeah.
What we do here every day on computers, is that more attributable to Bill Gates or Steve Jobs?
I mean, I guess Bill Gates, all the computers here are Windows.
Yeah.
Well, I don't necessarily mean here. I just mean day to day. Like every day in this world, is it more attributable to Bill Gates or Steve Jobs, you think? Are we more Windows or Apple in this world?
I heard say Windows.
Windows, I think so too.
It's more popular.
Yeah.
It's just designed in a way where it's wider.
But the U.S. government really is what we're talking about here, right? Because
What do you mean?
The internet,
Well, they
the
probably
World
don't
Wide
use
Web.
Windows or Apple. They probably use Linux.
But that's the whole thing is the government had it, but Bill Gates brought it to the masses. And Steve Jobs. Whichever one you want to say.
I just wonder how much Bill Gates gets in the tech world as far as the acknowledgement, because I was watching this random show. It wasn't very good, but it was on HBO, and it was the tech murders. So it was different murders and things that have happened, scandals in Silicon Valley. And so all these guys, when they're talking to like investigators and other potential entrepreneurs, they mention Bezos, they mention Jobs, they just never mention Gates, and maybe that community doesn't like him. I don't know.
Well, I mean, everybody in the chat room saying he stole a bunch of stuff from Apple and IBM.
Yes.
Did he?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well then I'm going to go Shohei. I mean, Shohei can steal a base, but that's legal.
Yeah. I think he speaks English better than he's letting on to, because I
Shohei?
saw him yelling last night after he hit a home run to his teammates, and I'm assuming nobody else understands Japanese, so I think he was yelling because he was trying to tell something about the new relief pitcher that come in, and he just yanked him for the Oppo second home run, and he was yelling to everybody in the dugout and who was in the on deck circle. And I was like, you know more English than you let on, man.
I mean, if you're Shohei, though, don't you learn it?
I mean, you should be a little bit.
Like, if I lived in Japan, I would try. I think it would be much more difficult for us to try to learn Japanese than somebody from Japan, because I've heard this is one of the easier languages to learn. But if you've got that kind of money, I mean, and I guess it helps he's around the locker room all the time, and almost everybody. Well,
it's like John Rahm learned English through rap. He would listen to English rap, and that's how John Rahm perfected English. I think when he came to Arizona State, I don't know how fluent in English he was when he came to the United States.
So if I listen to Japanese rap,
you could potentially learn Japanese, I guess. I don't know. That's how Rahm says he learned English so well, and he speaks, very good English.
Yeah, but it was like when the guy was interviewing him, asking the question to the interpreter, before the interpreter even said anything to Shohei, he was already nodding his head like he already knew
the answer.
Like he knew what he was going to say and everything.
So the interpreter's all for show, you think?
Shohei. Shohei for me too. And that is 4 Downs. Brought to you today in part by our friends at Bojangles.
You can make a bow time at Bojangles for the high school football tailgates coming up this Friday or through the playoffs. The college football tailgates, wherever you're headed for college football games or those college football watch parties. Bojangles has those hand-breaded chicken tenders, all the great sides, and they've got those great dipping sauces to go with them. As always, you can make it bow time with Bojangles. I got no clue. Bow time with Bojangles. And don't forget that pork chop griller on your way to work or school tomorrow. That pork chop griller is back at Bojangles. As always, you can make it bow time.
Cap it, don't snap it. Our friends at Gutter Cap.
There we go.
Chris
Okay.
Stewart will come out, give you an absolutely free estimate. The leaves are still falling. You want to keep the gutters clean and free flowing. We've got rainfall in the area the last couple of days. You need to make sure that rainwater is the only thing in the gutter. Gutter Cap will keep out all the debris. It's a pad aluminum cover system. It fits over most existing gutters. You will never have to clean the gutters again. It's a dirty, dangerous job. Cap it, don't snap it. You get on the roof, you slip, you fall, you snap the neck and die. No good to the wife or kids. 205-823-2212. Tell C-Stu the guys from the next round sent you for more information. GutterCapBirmingham.com.
Follow LT on Twitter at @TheLanceTaylor.
Honey, a while back, life knocked me flat on my behind. I was hit by an 18-wheeler, and Lord of mercy, it left me hurting. Now, I heard through the grapevine that Alexander Shannara had recovered big money for some people. You been hurt? Can't work? Don't sit there suffering. Call my people at Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys. Ain't gonna cost you a dime, so pick up the phone and dial 659-777-7777 or go to Shannara.com, because when I called, Alexander Shannara answered.
Call me, Alabama. No representation made that the legal services provided are better than legal services provided by other attorneys.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090. Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on The Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at The Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000.
At Central State Bank, we are large enough to serve you and small enough to know you. Manage your money with ease, whether it's mobile banking, hassle-free checking, competitive loans, business solutions, or personalized financial advice. We're your hometown bank with big-time service. Visit us today and experience banking made simple, because at Central State Bank, you come first.
Member FDIC.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing. When you crave activity like we do, you belong in the Roback family. Get the best golf wear, hoodies, and activewear for men and women at Roback.com. Use promo code TNR20 to get 20% off your order. That's Roback.com, promo code TNR20.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between 2 warm waffles. Which means that your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
All right, upset alert here in just a second. Delayed about 30 minutes so we could get Klatt on our Tuesday. This hour brought to you by our friends at Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken. Champy's Chicken. Go by and see Sterling. Destination lunch location. Listen, I brag about him in the summertime. I brag about him in the springtime. Brag about him in the fall. But really, the best time of year is right now because what'd you say, 61 today?
61's a high, yeah.
61 and drizzly out there. Can you imagine how good? Brined overnight, cooked to order, piping hot, 2 breasts, in-house made sides, great beer or iced tea, good Coke product, whatever you wanted would taste today for lunch.
It's an underrated bar, too.
Yeah, Champy's Chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster, has been there for over a decade. The atmosphere inside that place is such a great, welcoming atmosphere. Lunch or dinner, tailgating on the weekends, watching the big games. I mean, go pack up some chicken and watch 18 innings of baseball tonight in Game 4 of the World Series. It's all right there at champyschicken.com. All right, before we hit the spotlight, one other thing I wanted to get to. Could Lane Kiffin be the first coach ever to coach at 3 different SEC schools? I can't think of anybody that's done it. A lot of people have done 2.
Yeah, we ran through a bunch of 2s.
Yeah, like Spurrier, Muschamp, Saban, Freeze, Tommy Tuberville, Coach O, Donardo. There's a bunch who've done 2. I can't think of anybody who's done 3.
You know what? It could happen twice this year. Mullen could be on his 3rd, and so could Lane Kiffin.
Who could you see Mullen
could come back?
Well, I mean, just because Mullen's offense, I think when people look back at Florida's kind of a mess right now. I think a lot of people are trying to, talking about, people should avoid this Florida job. When you look back in retrospect, he didn't do a bad job.
Yeah.
So I do think with the offense as good as it's been, look.
I would say Billy Napier's people would tell you that he didn't recruit his last couple of years there, and that's what they inherited.
Well, but to your point, like if a Kentucky came open, they
Kentucky, or let's say like Drink leaves Missouri.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I just wouldn't be shocked if Dan Mullen comes back to this conference one day. But yes, I think Lane Kiffin, if Lane Kiffin stays, I mean, we'll know if he's a lifer in Oxford. I do think there's something about his kid playing football around there, but he's got enough money. Your kid can stay in Oxford, and he can be in Baton Rouge.
Well, I do find it interesting. Klatt thought that was going to be so close with Lanning.
Yeah,
at LSU.
Dan Lanning is a guy that's mentioned, but he's not up at the top. They got the betting favorites are John Sumrall of Tulane, friend of the show.
This is at LSU.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Joe Brady.
Yep.
And Lane Kiffin in that order. But I would tell you, and you tell me this, and I saw, who did I see talking? Urban Meyer was talking about this. And I think Tyler Siskey was a little bit too, that when the governor is involved and the boosters are walking suite to suite during a game, is that really the kind of atmosphere the kind of job you want to take? Urban Meyer says would be a big turnoff to him, knowing that the governor got involved. He started ranting. He's like, so are all the potholes filled up in Baton Rouge and New Orleans? Is it safe on the streets?
Right, yeah.
I mean, this guy's so worried about this. And then he made a point. He's like, and if the next coach, and he wanted to fire this guy, if the next coach doesn't work, is he going to get taken out of office in the governor's?
See, I've always viewed
his job on the line for choosing the next coach?
I've always viewed it as a positive if you're in LSU spot or Nebraska spot where you're really the only game in the entire state. But then you start to look politically, somebody can get involved like the governor because you're not going to upset anybody else.
Yeah. I read Ross Dellinger's write-up about it, and Ross is from there, I think. I think he's a Louisiana guy.
Or at least covered LSU
for
as
a
beat writer for a long time.
Yeah, before he was with Yahoo Sports. And, he wrote, and I've thought this from the outside looking in, but from the inside looking out, he was like, it's rare that you will say this about a market that has an NFL team. But the number one thing in Louisiana is LSU football. Most places you would say NFL number 1, college football number 2, but like bigger than the Saints, LSU football. And his point was, like everything else in Louisiana, if it's a big deal, it is going to immediately intersect with politics because politics are so ingrained in the state of Louisiana, and political power and the fight for political power is so historically famous in Louisiana. And he goes, the biggest thing in Louisiana is LSU football. So if you don't think politics are going to strongly intersect with it, you're out of your mind.
But I think that's every southern state that has the NFL.
Yeah.
I mean,
maybe so. Tennessee,
Atlanta.
Yeah. No, you're probably right. But his point was more about how quickly politics intersects with it. Because think about it. Like, can you imagine Kay Ivey sending out a tweet publicly criticizing Kalen DeBoer, Hugh Freeze? That's not going to happen. Could you imagine the
Hugh Freeze?
That's a great Kay Ivey. I mean, like, Ron DeSantis didn't send out any tweets publicly criticizing Billy Napier.
I think he did.
I'd like to see that. Publicly criticizing Billy Napier?
Yeah, I don't think so.
I think you'd have seen that.
I mean, it gets tricky. Again, you got a balance in Florida. You got Florida State, Miami, Florida, Central Florida.
Saturday night, the governor of the state of Louisiana is sending out a tweet saying, if LSU wants to raise ticket prices, we got to have a better product on the field.
WDSU in New Orleans reporting that one private donor is paying the lion's share of the BK buyout. One guy. So does that mean my
lion's share is $30 million or more? I would say.
Yeah,
does that mean lion's share? That means he's walking around the suites up there raising cane.
Does that guy have that kind of money? You think?
I don't know.
I mean, he pays Paul Skeens to, hey, I'm Paul Skeens, major league pitcher and all-star.
you know, he owns all those franchises. Todd Graves is the guy's name.
Yeah,
we got one coming up on 280.
Yeah. There's one building right now on 280. I've had it.
I've had it in Baton Rouge.
I think there are a lot alike, honestly, all those chicken finger franchises, but that's just me.
Do you ever think, I thought about this last night, like, how do we make so many chickens in this world? I mean, just think how many chicken breasts.
If you Google the amount of chickens we eat per person in the world, like I think it's like 21 pounds of chicken per person.
Yeah.
So it's
just like daily.
Hundreds of millions or maybe billions of chickens, I think.
See, I trust the places, and we advertise a couple of them, that do actually fried chicken and the chicken fingers. Like, I think you're getting better. But that's beside the point. He owns every one of those. They don't, to my knowledge, they do not franchise out Raising Cane's. Like, he owns the land and the structure and the franchise for every single one they've put up in America. He's never franchised one out. And they're quite large for somebody to have never franchised one out.
The average American eats about 100 pounds of chicken each year.
Wow.
And there's 300 million of us in this country.
Yeah. I mean, it takes a while for a chicken to grow a breast, right? To get big enough to where we can chop it up and put it between two buns.
Not when you put them on steroids.
Yeah.
But I like chicken so much more than I like eggs.
I can see that.
Yeah, I do too.
Like, I can have eggs like once a month, once every couple of months, and then I'm egged out for a little bit.
I can't think of the last time I had a steak.
You can't.
I had two last week.
And I love steaks. I used to eat steaks all the time.
Is there a reason you're not eating?
No, I need to eat steak more.
Yeah, I'm trying to find out.
You're a butcher chef.
According to Wikipedia, there are 900 locations of Raising Cane's, and I think Todd Graves owns every last one of them. So
sometimes maybe 51%. He keeps the majority share in somebody else.
I don't know, but he's probably got enough money. I mean, their revenue last year was $5.1 billion.
Because like our great sponsor, Walk-Ons, doesn't the original Walk-Ons guy,
Brandon Landry,
keep a little bit of each one of them?
Yeah.
Like,
so, I do believe.
You think Walk-Ons got involved in this buyout too?
Well, I was about to bring this up.
He's a big LSU guy.
When we're talking about $48 million Franklin, $53 million now Brian Kelly, there has to be a way you're finding a way to write some of this off if you're ponying up that money. I don't know how you do it. I don't know legally if you do it. Yeah. But they're figuring out a loophole because the numbers have gotten so astronomical. I'd be shocked if somebody's going to be on the lion's share of a buyout like that. How are they not writing? They're not just pissing away $30 million.
Yeah. Let's do our upset alert. Before trash, we'll let you get Kirby Smart and Lane Kiffin reacting to the Brian Kelly firing. That coming up in a moment. Before you hit the spotlight open, though, LT's going to tell us about Dr. B. Tell us about Dr. B, buddy.
Dr. Beckenstein, best in the business. T3's got that new test. It's easy. It's painless. Affordable. Takes seconds to perform. It's going to show you exactly what Dr. B can do to grow that hair back. I'm speaking from experience. I'm 4 years deep with Dr. B. I do that non-invasive treatment 3 times a week. 30 minutes each time on the couch. My hair is more than doubled in thickness. Make sure you stop in. Go see Dr. Beckenstein and that great staff for more than 20 years. Men and women have turned to Dr. B. They rely on his experience. Best in the business. T3hair.net for more information.
The College Football Spotlight.
Sound the alarm. college football's upset alert.
The Shannara Spotlight each day presented by our guy Alexander Shannara, personal attorney for so many people in the state of Alabama because he's an Alabama guy. Headquartered in Birmingham, that's where he has stayed for more than 24 years. He's grown his practice to more than 150 lawyers, supported by more than 500 dedicated team members. They've recovered more than $2 billion, maintaining some core values: integrity, mastery, passion, and success. When you find yourself in need of a lawyer, call the Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys. You pay nothing, not a dime, unless they win your case. Shannara.com, Shannara.com.
Let's start off with the rules first. If you're new to the show, maybe you don't really know what we do every week with the upset alert. Got to have a minimum point spread of 4.5 or more. Listen, this is a straight ripoff of Superdog on game day. We've done a variation of rules over the years, and finally a couple of years ago we decided just to copy the game day points. 5 points for the cover, and then 5 points plus the spread for the outright win. We've had a ton of those this year. Here's the standings for you, and the parentheses number are 4.5 underdogs or more and outright winners. Forster's had 5 of those. Brown's had 4 of those. I've had 3 of those. LT and Brooks have had 1 of those each. Last week I covered. No outright winners last week. Did anybody else cover, Forster?
Yeah, Lance covered.
So Lance and I covered last week.
Who'd you have?
I had Michigan State.
Who'd you have?
I had Tulsa.
Boy, Michigan.
Tulsa. Overtime loss.
Yeah, against Temple. Yeah.
Went for 2 in the win, or I would have had another outright winner.
Yeah.
We could have kept it alive and playing if we'd kicked the extra point. Went for 2. I was okay with it.
Our golf playing coach went for 2, didn't he?
Yeah.
It's like going for a par 5. He had 3 wood in hand. He's like, I didn't come here to lay up.
Green light. I was okay going for 2. Was about to walk it off and get me plus the points, but it didn't happen. So the standings are there. Forster and Brown leading the way, me, LT, and Brooks. So LT's taking some big swings now, trying to get back in the race.
I saw him draw his logo, and I still have no clue where he's going.
Yeah. I'll go and go.
I think I do.
You think you know?
Yeah, I think that's an old school logo.
Okay.
From basketball season?
I saw him draw it. I didn't know where he was going.
Yeah, I don't know.
Just because I did Michigan State's old school, I decided I would try this old school.
Yeah, I think I know what it is.
Is that Kentucky?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, Kentucky plus 10.5.
It's all right. Great. I like Kentucky rolling into Jordan Hare. If Ashton Daniels, and this is all about Ashton Daniels.
Right.
Cutter Boley is actually putting up some decent numbers.
Well, Kentucky numbers.
Yeah, Kentucky numbers.
You have to. That's like dog years. A pass yard for a Kentucky quarterback is worth 7 yards for another quarterback.
So, just for the record, and I'm being completely transparent, what I do now, the last 2 weeks, is I go through and I look for double-digit dogs that I think could possibly win the game.
Fewer of those these days.
Well, there's just not a lot of double-digit dogs out there. So I felt that if Ashton Daniels is starting, that gives Kentucky every opportunity to win the game. So I'm going to play Kentucky. I don't love it, but let's do it.
All right.
Yeah. Well, which gets me to mine, and probably a stupid way to approach this. I don't think I can catch up if I just keep covering.
No, you got to swing for the fence.
Yeah, but I'm not.
Because Scott and I, as I told you earlier today, Brown Bandit and Scott can run the clock out from here, if they can cover.
Bare minimum for me, Cal plus 4 at home.
That's a good bear.
Against Virginia, and I am I get the half, so I'm going 4.5.
Yeah, it's a very
with
small
Cal.
numbers.
So it's a very small
number.
number.
I tell you what, Virginia, we all, I think, thought they would blow out North Carolina. And North Carolina did what I want every coach to do, which you were just talking about, golfer Trey Lamb doing it. North Carolina, second possession in overtime, went for 2 and didn't get it.
I think
it was close.
I think that tells you that's one of the greatest football minds of all time, that he has played out the overtime scenarios in college and said that's the best way to play it.
I don't know why you wouldn't do it. Like I wanted State.
If you don't do it that way, you're basically – You're scared.
Like if State happened to score, which they didn't get anywhere close, but if they had happened to score in the second overtime or first overtime, they would 100% go. Libby would have gone for 2, right?
Yeah.
You have to.
He would have gone for 2, I believe. But I gave you guys the easiest 3-team tease ever last week.
Yeah, how did it do?
Virginia -0.5. They won by 1.
They won by 1.
Alabama -1.5. They win that game easy.
Easy.
And then I had Tennessee. That was an easy one.
Wow. It was. That ended up playing out.
Well, I'd have sweated 2 of those.
Oh, my God. That's all I could think about all day because I actually played it myself, and I'm like, this is like so painful.
I mean, Virginia was so lucky to win.
And I knew when it went to overtime that Belichick was going to do that exact thing.
It's the smart play.
It's a smart play
is.
to do.
Yeah.
It's like I was telling somebody last night about how well coached Alabama is. And I admire the heck out of this because Ryan Day likely cost himself a national championship one year. We could go back to it a lot when they moved down the field against Georgia in the semifinals and played for a long field goal. They didn't shut it down. Kalen DeBoer last week was throwing the football late in that game to keep getting closer and closer for field goal and still trying to score a touchdown and not letting the kicker kick to make it 25-22. He was still going for the touchdown. That's aggressive, good coaching. That takes guts to do it because it's easy to get conservative at that point and then blame it on the kicker if he misses it like Ryan Day was able to do. DeBoer didn't do that. I admire Bill Belichick for going for 2. That's being a grown-ass man
100%.
saying, man, we're going for the win right here. Hey, and it didn't work. Guess what? I made that decision. That was on me.
Yeah. Again, as we always talk about on the show, the very next overtime, you're absolutely going to be required by rule to run your best 2-point play. Why not run it right there? I mean, that's your best 2-point play. You're going to run it in one more overtime, required by rule if you're fortunate enough to score. Go ahead and run it when you can walk the game off. I will never understand that.
And by the way, I think we saw Alabama's best 2-point play this past week against South Carolina to tie the game.
You saw one version of it.
That's right. And I think there's 5 or 6 different ways they play off of that one play.
If he hands that ball off.
Yeah.
Rather than just fake the handoff.
And then if he hands it off and then he throws it.
That's what I'm saying. If he hands it off.
Yeah. Let's go, before we get to the Brown Bandit, let's go back row Brooks first. Brooks, what do you got for us, man?
I'm going to go NC State plus 5.5 against the unbeaten Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets.
Whoa, boy, NC State just got shellacked by Pitt.
They did, but they're at home, and I think Tech drops a game at some point before they play Georgia. I don't know.
You're running out of chances.
No, this is a tricky game.
Yeah. I looked at it too. Yeah.
You think?
Yeah. So I think I would love to see an outright win here. I think, like I said, I think Tech's going to struggle at some point. Honestly, shouldn't be undefeated. They kind of got Wake Forest got hosed against them earlier this year. So maybe it comes this week. And NC State plus 5.5.
Yeah, I agree with that. Forrester gives us a lot of artificial intelligence that wins him some games.
No real intelligence.
That's what that comment
is. That where we're at?
It's very little intelligence on your part.
What do you have for us this week, Forrester?
All right. I hope Slushy's tuned in for this one.
Uh-oh.
So we're going to Pratt and Whitney Stadium in East Hartford, Connecticut, where the UAB Blazers are taking on the UConn Huskies.
You'll be the only ones there.
No doubt. 11 a.m. game too, I believe.
Yeah.
I like Alex Mortensen and the Blazers here.
I hope so. Get him, Mort.
Oh.
They're going to torch those Huskies.
That poor dog.
He's okay.
Oh,
PETA, don't come after me.
Wait a minute. We got Dan Hurley. He's all
Dan
pissed
Hurley
off about
is
it.
so pissed about this.
You think Dan Hurley has a clue they're playing football?
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah.
And was that Dilfer getting ready to play
Yep.
golf?
Trent Dilfer's going to find out about all this on the golf course, and he's going to be really perplexed.
Yeah. He did. That's what he's doing. He's looking at his phone, isn't he?
That's right, yeah.
He is.
He's just hit a tee shot. He's going to hold that down. Wait a minute.
Give me the Blazers plus 11.5.
Wait,
Feel like I can at least get a cover out of this.
What a great invention. It looks like the smartphone is at the bottom of his driver. Look at this. It looks like he just pulls the smartphone at the end of his drive. Craziness. Go Blazers.
How excited Alex is in the middle.
Yeah.
Boy, I don't think Mort's ever shown that much excitement.
That does look like who's Slushy? Is that dog?
No. An occasional chatter who likes UAB content.
I thought
when we talk about the Blazers.
I thought that was the slush puppy dog.
No.
I thought that's where you're going with slush. You remember the slush puppies?
I do remember slush puppies.
Hey, Brown Bandit's here now.
Fellas, what's up? Last week I had Minnesota. They were at Iowa.
Ouch.
I liked it outright. I told Tyler we did not need those points. Points ended up not mattering, Tyler. 41-3 was the final score there.
Yeah.
Iowa
You occasionally have to intentionally miss some to keep the feds off of you, right?
You do not want Vegas to know you're winning every week, and that's that we threw them off there now.
Are you a PJ Fleck fan?
I don't like Row the Boat. I have never been a fan of his, less of a fan now. I blame the refs for the loss. I want John Cohen to get those refs fired too. 41-3. Minnesota could not catch a break, couldn't catch a call right there. And I don't know why the Big Ten's in Iowa's back pocket, but boy, they are. So anyway, it wasn't my fault. It was the refs' fault, but Minnesota lost. So I've gone back to the drawing board, as I do in the rare instances that I lose a game. I double down the next week, and I am super. There were 2 Big 12 games I absolutely loved when I came here today, and I thought about taking them both, seeing if you guys would give me the points if I could get both of them right.
I think we should have a double play.
Yeah, a double play option.
week.
Yeah, well, the one thing we want to do is change the rules again.
So you have to go to.
You got to get them both right. Yeah, if you get them both
right,
I think
you get credit for both.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Or if you get one right, you get credit for one.
I think you got to get them both right.
You got to get both.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you could just make 10 picks and get one of them.
No, I'm just saying two.
Two, but you got to get them both right.
One-time double play.
No, you got to get them right.
Two, you got to get them both right.
Or how about you can do as many as you want as long as you get them right?
You have to get them all right.
Yeah,
basically, you had to hit a 14 parlay.
Yeah. Hey, Forrester, you know who's suggesting all these rules? Everybody that's in the back of the
stands.
standings.
That's
right.
Hey, I'm not even in the standings.
I know you're not. I don't know why you're even talking. You wait until you're cued in a moment, son.
All right.
2 Big 12 plays I like. I really wanted to come in and do both. I didn't do both.
There's no way you did Oklahoma State.
Are they still playing football?
No,
I did see an orange marker out.
Yeah. Utah last week started a backup quarterback. You know who was unaware of that? Deion Sanders. And that backup quarterback looked fantastic against Colorado's defense. Now, Colorado's offense didn't help much. Utah's starting that backup again this week. You know who's going to be aware of that? The Cincinnati Bearcats, who are catching 8.5 American points on the road in Salt Lake City. I beg your pardon, you're squinting at me, sir.
You're telling me Cincinnati's getting 8.5 points?
I know. This is how Vegas was built. I feel
this is a dick kicking.
Yeah, nobody loves Utah more than Lance Taylor and the Whittingham family.
I like this Cincinnati team, too.
Yeah, but you love you some Utah. So I knew as soon as I held this logo up.
Forrester, can you do some fact checking real quick?
What? You don't think they're catching 8.5? You think I'm wrong about this?
I thought it was 6.5.
Nope, it's 8.5. I looked this morning.
Okay.
8.5. The sky's looking.
I'm surprised Cincinnati's not favored.
It's actually +9 now.
Oh, all right.
+9.
I get to do that again. All right, I got 9.5. I get
exactly like last week.
Yeah, I get to change this 8 to a 9. We're going to do that for dang sure. I get a whole another point.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't
you might
matter.
as well leave it.
Yeah, Utah Lance. Nobody loves the Utes like some Lance Taylor. He's got them losing this game. Cincinnati loses this game. I got 9.5 American points, even at elevation. Those points all matter to most people, but not to me, Tyler, because
we don't need them!
We don't need them! The Bearcats are going to claw their way to the top here. Cincinnati +9.5 now. I got to fix this. I fixed my board, too, so this little thing won't fall off again.
Wow. I missed that one. I probably thought it was 8.5 favored Cincinnati against Utah.
You know what I don't like?
I wish I could get some of that.
What I don't like is how much he likes this pick now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Cincinnati's number 17 in the country, playing
they're
number
a one-loss
24
team.
Utah.
It's a good logo, too.
Playoff contender.
How about the drawing on the logo, though, Lance?
Yeah.
I know you like Utah.
Yeah,
no,
it's a
that's
heck of a
good.
logo.
Yeah.
You've done better Cincinnati ones. I'll be honest.
Thank you, Jim.
Yeah.
You say that every single time I do a logo. Every single time I do
you
a logo.
have. To credit to you, you've done better work.
The other one I liked was Kansas State. Did anybody think about that?
Oh, yeah.
I thought about K-State. What do you think about that
But
one
I feel
there,
like
Lance?
somebody draws that every week, so I decided not to draw it.
I thought Kansas State was favored.
No, Kansas State's the dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kansas State's the dog. They're playing host to
I know
Texas
Tech.
Yeah, but Texas Tech's down there the third-string quarterback, are they not?
No, Barron Morton's back.
Is
and
he
healthy.
back?
Yeah.
So they're up to their first-team quarterback.
Texas Tech is a 7-point favorite.
7-point road favorites.
Yeah.
That's
7.5.
a big road favorite in Manhattan.
Yeah. This is a big road favorite in Salt Lake City, too. Or a big road dog in Salt Lake City.
Yeah. Just the opposite of favorite.
Just the opposite of favorite. All right, guys, I'm out of here now.
That's our upset alert today, brought to you in part by our friends at Company Distilling LT. If that didn't make you want to have a drink, nothing will.
Yeah, Company Distilling. If you've been waiting for a whiskey that is as good as the company you keep, the wait is over. Big news, Alabama Company Distilling now available at ABC stores across the state. Find your bottle, learn more at CompanyDistilling.com/Alabama. Available in Alabama, Colorado, Colorado, Florida, Georgia, Missouri, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Tennessee, and Texas. If you go to a local store, they don't have it, tell them to get it. The master distiller, Jeff Arnett, was the master distiller at Jack Daniels for decades, and now he is the guy behind the bottle. Again, for more information on this incredible product, companydistilling.com/Alabama.
Follow Brownie on Twitter and Instagram at Ryan Brown Live.
Honey, a while back, life knocked me flat on my behind. I was hit by an 18-wheeler, and Lord of mercy, it left me hurting. Now, I heard through the grapevine that Alexander Shannara had recovered big money for some people. You been hurt? Can't work? Don't sit there suffering. Call my people at Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys. Ain't gonna cost you a dime, so pick up the phone and dial 659-777-7777 or go to Shannara.com, because when I called, Alexander Shannara answered.
Call me, Alabama. No representation made that the legal services provided are better than legal services provided by other attorneys.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the next round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
To everyone who craves a fresh meal made just for you, let our team member Jacob share what's special about Culver's.
In Wisconsin, our food comes from the heart, and taking the time to handcraft your meal with care is how we've always done it at Culver's. It's why your Butterburger doesn't touch the grill until after you order.
Come to Culver's and let us serve you a Butterburger made special just for you. From Wisconsin with love, welcome to Delicious.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today. Never miss anything from the next round when you listen on demand through the podcast platform of your choice, Apple, Spotify, iHeart, or Google Podcast, wherever you listen. Always like, follow, subscribe, turn on automatic download so you can catch every part of the next round. Listen anywhere in the world, anytime on the Next Round podcast feed, and support the show by following, subscribing, and turning on automatic downloads on any podcast platform. Listen anywhere in the world, anytime on the Next Round podcast feed. Thanks for always making the Next Round a big part of your day. Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090. Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between 2 warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
College basketball season starts next Monday. Looking forward to what the Tide and the Tigers will do again this year. Andy Kennedy's got a good team at UAB. We'll see what Bucky does out at Texas A&M. Sanford with our new coach, an exciting time there. A lot of fun ahead. LeBaron Philon and Tahad Pettiford on the Cooley Award watch list yesterday, the top 20 guards in America, and they're on just about every watch list. So it's fun times ahead on the college basketball front. We were just looking at the TV schedule before we jump back into football. This hour brought to you by our friends at Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster, champyschicken.com. Go by there and get piping hot chicken, cooked to order, never under a lamp. You order it, they drop it in the grease right then. Brined overnight, juicy to the bone, hand-cut chicken fingers, and so much more. champyschicken.com, Highway 119 in Alabaster with our buddy Sterling. This was supposed to be a massive weekend if you go by preseason expectations in August. The 11 o'clock window was supposed to have Penn State, Ohio State, Miami, SMU, Duke, Clemson, Arizona State, Iowa State. Think about all the preseason expectations there. Georgia, Florida at 2:30. Think about what Florida was supposed to be. Some of you had them going to the playoffs.
That'd be me.
Right? So that was supposed to be a big day right there. And then at nighttime, you sort of knew Oklahoma, Tennessee was supposed to be big, but remember what South Carolina was?
Oh, yeah,
they were preseason number 13.
Yeah, in the preseason, South Carolina at Ole Miss had massive playoff implications for both teams in the preseason.
Yeah. And, I mean, you still have USC, Nebraska that has some kind of meaning.
It does. Meaning. I mean, both two losses. The biggest game of the day is in Austin. It's Vanderbilt, Texas.
I know, which nobody had that one meaning that.
No.
I mean, if I had told you, like, Texas has staved off playoff elimination 2 straight weeks against the bottom of the SEC.
Yep.
I mean, it's remarkable that their playoff hopes could have died in Lexington or in Starkville, but it might be more remarkable, Lance, that they're playing Vanderbilt, and Vanderbilt could be the one to absorb the loss here and be okay.
Yeah,
not Texas.
It's insane.
It is incredible to think about.
Crazy. Kirby Smart and Lane Kiffin commenting on Brian Kelly being fired here in the SEC. Let's go to the veteran, the guy that's won national championships. Here's Kirby Smart on the Kelly firing.
With Brian Kelly being fired, guy won more than 70% of his games. It seems like the expectations in the new college landscape has led to more midseason firings. What do you make of the state of the game, and is there any sort of danger here?
I don't know. I mean, it's the world we live in. Everybody's got a voice. Everybody listens to somebody. A lot of, I don't know enough about that situation, to be honest with you. That specific situation. I think you're asking a general view, but I don't know enough about what's going on over there. Got enough things to worry about in our own house, and that's what I focus on. It's obviously a tough situation on everybody. I mean, let's be honest. It's the players dealing with it, fans dealing with it, coaches dealing with it at this time in the middle of a season. I think there's so much built around the playoffs, and it's like everything's boom or bust, and you can't have a normal season. People got to make decisions earlier based on how somebody does, and I don't know enough about it. I know it's high expectations. I coached at LSU, and a guy once told me, he said, that office you're in, that's not your office. You're borrowing it. And I knew right then that if you didn't win, you wouldn't be there long.
Yeah.
He is the most secure man in college football, though.
Kirby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Like, even with what Dabo has done at Clemson, there's division amongst that program. But, like,
Dunaway gave us the buyout number the other day. What's the buyout number on Kirby?
$110 million.
Yeah, he might be the most secure man in the world. At $110 million on a buyout for a college football job.
Cignetti is up there now just with the new deal he got and the expectations in Indiana. But, I mean, I think the most secure coach in football is definitely Kirby Smart.
Yeah, with his new contract that Cignetti signed, it may approach $110 million.
Yeah, because it's fully guaranteed, right?
Yeah.
If they fire
I think it's $93 million or something.
Okay.
We're working on getting him on the show, by the way.
Okay, good. Cignetti,
Yeah.
Coach Sig, I like him. I understand what Kirby is saying about the playoffs, but here's the way I would counter that with LSU. With LSU is in a world where there were no playoffs, he would have gone to the SEC championship game, probably played in a New Year's Six bowl. The next year he would not have been in a New Year's Six bowl. I guess last year maybe a New Year's Six bowl, probably not. So even without the playoffs, and it's so obvious that you're missing the playoffs, I don't know that you're going to survive that long at LSU if you're just barely missing a New Year's Six bowl either. You know what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying there?
Yeah.
Like, it's not just that he missed the playoffs. Even in a world where the playoffs didn't exist, that might have gotten you fired at LSU. I mean, actually, Brian Kelly had a better chance of keeping his job than the guys before him because he had a chance to be in the top 12 and go to the playoffs.
That's right.
And
10-2.
Yeah.
10-2 gets you in the playoffs.
Yeah, especially with a brand like LSU and the SEC.
Here's Lane Kiffin, oddly, getting asked about Brian Kelly being fired when possibly that Lane Kiffin could be the guy that replaces him, though more and more it looks like maybe that's not the case. Here's Lane on the Brian Kelly firing.
Wanted to get your thoughts on the LSU news and just major SEC shakeup. Kind of how was your reaction to that?
I mean, very surprising. I mean, it's the the college world we're living in now. You know, we really, if you think about it, we talk about the players now are like NFL players. You know how they're paid, and now I feel like the college coaches now are more like the NFL coaches, where you know. The firings happen quicker. The NFL coaches see all the time. They get 1-2 years, you know, and you'd be like, well, in college that doesn't happen, you know, because it's harder to build a roster and they give you more time. And so it's obviously not the case now. And I think it's a product of things that happen. I think that, you know, Elko doing such a great job at A&M, I think puts in people's heads like, hey, these buyouts are ridiculous to pay. And, you know, but I'm sure in A&M right now sitting there going, okay, well, yeah, that was ridiculous to pay, but I feel pretty good about that right now. So anytime something works, you know, other people go, well, let's go do that. And so I think that's happened. And once it now has places accepting, you know, to pay these buyouts, which I think is ridiculous, but that it's happening, then it's easier for the next team and the next team, you know, to do it.
Yeah. Lane thinks it's ridiculous, but if they want to fire him, he would probably walk away with
hey, you
$60
said
million.
these buyouts are ridiculous. Let's don't put them in your new contract.
Do I have a deal for you? Yeah.
I do think it's a really good point from Lane, though. As far as what job was he specifically talking about there?
A&M?
Yeah, A&M. So you get
the question Dunaway asked earlier.
Well, yeah, the majority of
the
times you fire, pay the buyout, it doesn't work out. But all you got to do if you're trying to sell the other side is look what A&M did.
Yeah. The only thing that's ridiculous to me about it, I mean, the buyouts are ridiculous, but the fact that LSU wants to fire Brian Kelly and it costs him $53 million. If Florida wanted to hire Brian Kelly, it would have cost Florida a couple million. That's the insane part, is that if a school wants to come hire your guy away, it's not also $53 million. I mean, that's the equitable way for that to work is, okay, if I fire you, I do have to pay you $53 million. But if you want another job, it's going to cost you or that school $53 million.
I did have one person from college athletics who was listening abroad and said, I guess abroad makes it sound internationally, elsewhere in the United States, that texted me, listening to your show, in all my years in the Department of College Athletics, I've never seen a donor cut a check for a buyout one time.
Oh, yeah. If he does it once, he's got to do it again? Is that what they're saying?
Well, I think we always make it sound like
the donors are doing it.
The donors are the ones that are writing these buyout checks, blah, 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 blah. And that's the way it's always painted in the media, blah, 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 blah. But this person says, I've never seen that. The donor actually is not. It's the athletic department that's coming up with the money. Now, through the donors in some ways.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the donor. Like next year, will you increase your giving to such and such?
Yeah, it's always interesting. No public money, though. The LSU makes sure that the lights are on at local schools. It's not going from the governor's office right into Brian Kelly's pocket.
I feel like even if it were like state funds, the governor would have done it. The way that guy's acted.
We'll find a way.
Let's get to trash. New York Butcher Shop bringing us trash today. And then after that, a little Brent Venables, Lane Kiffin pettiness after their game. Not before their game, after their game. That's After Trash, brought to you by New York Butcher.
New York Butcher Shop. We brought up steaks earlier. I had an opportunity to go in twice last week and pick up some of the delicious fillets, some of the in-house made sides fresh every single day, those baked beans, the mashed potatoes with the goat cheese, fantastic selection of fine wines and desserts, great butchers, both locations, the original Cahaba Heights Highway 119 in Greystone, rare quality, well-done service. It's the New York Butcher Shop.
Well, listen, we've got to do this. Let me hear you all say, E-L-G-S-E-S, Eagles! Let's go, Birds!
LT's Trash is presented by Bud Light.
Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Our friends at Bud Light. We start first. A TikTok account called This Is Matt Taylor has quickly gone viral, with viewers pointing out a striking resemblance between its star and actor Kevin James.
Yep, I can see it.
I think that's him.
Yeah.
It starts out, "Hey guys, Mr. Taylor here," is how the man behind the account has started almost every video so far. Then he pivots to talking about his life as an art teacher and shows the kids in his classroom. Now, the first video was uploaded to the account on October 15th, 2025, and almost immediately prompted speculation that Taylor is actually Kevin James. Now, the videos quickly went viral, amassing millions of views and tens of thousands of comments across the 6 uploads on the channel so far. Viewers have compared various facial features between the man in the video and Kevin James and have concluded that the Matt Taylor account is a marketing campaign for one of the actor's upcoming movies.
Yeah, I was about to say, you'll be watching a college football game and get a preview for Mr. Taylor, the school teacher show.
Solo Mio, the movie that is coming out in February. I'm sure it's going to be a piece of shit movie all his own. He plays a character named Matt.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. So Kevin James set to star in Solo Mio, upcoming film. Nothing has been confirmed, but the timing, the character, name match are fueling the theory.
Oh, it's 100% Kevin James. You can tell by looking at it.
Yeah, everything about it.
Yeah. Hey, so speaking of the previews they showed during the football games, first of all, Nashville 911. I can't believe anybody watches that.
You know who watches it? Bethany and Layton.
Are you kidding me?
And just the outlandish, sensationalized headlines.
It's ridiculous.
Is there one now where there's a spacewalk?
Jim, that's the one I can't figure out. Like, we've got 911 in space. I'm not going to bother watching it to see how they play that out, but they have been showing that for like 3 weeks during the football games.
Man, I've heard some 911 calls. It takes a little bit of time for them to get out.
You think it takes some time to get to space?
Yeah.
I can't figure out how they're making a 911 in space show. Like, it just makes no sense. But then again, I'm not going to watch it.
Yeah,
and
Jack
find out.
told me, he was like, Mom and Layton are watching 911 Nashville. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me.
Well, don't tell them. I make fun of that promo every football game.
You should. Florida woman recently arrested after identifying herself as a suspected thief in a post online. Bryn Guilford, 19 years old, stands accused of fraudulent use of personal identification information of a person 60 years of age or older. She looks sad.
She does look sad.
She looks like that cartoon hound dog that was always sad.
Huckleberry?
Huckleberry.
Yeah.
Or Droopy Dog.
Droopy Dog.
Droopy Dog.
Yeah, that's who it was.
She's got Droopy Dog's cheeks.
Yes.
Or the mumps. One of the two.
On August 9th, deputies began a fraud investigation based on an incident that is said to have occurred at Palm Nails Nail Salon in Palm Coast, a small city located roughly 6 miles southeast of Jacksonville. The alleged victim said she visited the salon on August 6th and 3 days later realized she no longer had her credit card in possession. I did leave my credit card at a restaurant a week ago tonight. I never do that.
Did you get it back?
Well, the problem is I called the restaurant and they're like, we don't have it. And I was like, you're absolutely positive? I can't find it anywhere. And they're like, we don't have it. And so went to the restaurant hours later, and they did have it.
Do you remember this was the SEC tournament we're done where you felt ill and you came back home?
Yes.
And Lance and I stayed, and he and I had dinner at the steakhouse that's on top of the hotel there.
The JW Marriott.
Yeah, I thought was a bit overrated.
It was.
Yeah. You had to go back and get yours, right?
Well, no. I left my credit card there. I left it, and I've done this multiple times, but I catch it. No, I sign the thing and I close it back and I forget to take my card out.
I always take card out first. Before I even
that's the way to do it.
So I've started doing that. So we're back in Lance's neighborhood. I'm dropping him off, and phone number pops up on the screen, 615 area code. And I'm like, ooh, that's weird. We just left Nashville. So I say, hello, Ryan Brown, please. I said, this is he. Mr. Brown, this is John Simpson with JW Marriott Hotel Security. And I'm like, what did Lance do?
Yeah, that's what I remember you saying that.
What's going on here? What has Lance done? Why are they calling me?
That was one of my last wild road trips.
No, that's where Lance settled down a little. I was like, what has Lance done? And why are they calling me about it? They don't know he's in the car with me. But he was calling to tell me they have my credit card. And I was like, no, just cut it up. I'll get a new one. That's the easy thing now.
It's better than the establishment that told me they didn't have it. I had to go out there, and then they did have it.
They at least called me.
I would have said FedEx it to me, but that's better to cut it up and get a new one.
Well, I mean, you can get a new one so quickly.
Yeah.
And I was like, just cut it up, and I canceled that one. They sent me a new one, new number. We're good to go.
So during the ensuing investigation here, detective obtained surveillance footage from various stores where the victim's card was used. Authorities considered their suspect to be a white woman with, quote, long dark hair and who was wearing a white camouflage jacket. Otherwise, however, investigators had little to go on, but that little bit allegedly proved just to be enough. September 23rd, Sheriff's Office posted an attempt to identify request on Facebook featuring low-resolution photo of a woman wearing a white hoodie. As it turns out, Gifford herself reached out about the post. According to the Flagler County Emergency Communications Center, quote, later that day, detectives were notified that a woman had called us and that she was the individual in the photo and asked to speak to detectives working on the case. Detectives then met with the defendant for an interview. Initially, Gifford said that she had not done anything wrong. According to the sheriff's office, surveillance footage was then brought out again. Later during the interview, Gifford showed detectives the contents of her backpack, which contained notebooks and pens appearing to be the same ones purchased at Walmart. Defendant was later found to have been employed at the nail salon in question as a receptionist at the time. The victim's credit card was stolen. Warrant was issued for Gifford's arrest, and she was taken into custody. She basically turned herself in.
I mean, at least you did do that.
Is this a cry for help, Tyler?
Could be.
Yeah, I thought maybe. I would agree with Lance on that one. I do believe it is a cry for help. Palm nails.
So, to each their own, but I think sometimes it's important people live together before they get married just to kind of, see it out. But I especially think if you've got pets that you're going to be bringing together for the first time, you got to let pets share the space to see how they're going to be able to cohabitate.
Yeah, even if you don't live together, maybe let the pets live together for a little bit. I don't disagree with that.
Newlywed couple in India calling it quits because their cat, dog, and rabbit just couldn't get along, causing tension in the home. Now, in a unique case, Indians couple spat is taking social media by storm as they seek separation due to their pet's behavior. Now, court documents obtained show that an unnamed couple who tied the knot in December of 2024, filing for divorce just 8 months after taking their vows. As reported by the outlet, the duo initially bonded over their love for animals, but this shared interest soon turned to irritation when they moved in together. Now, the husband owned a dog, fish, and pet rabbit. His wife moved in with her cat. Now, although things were peaceful at first, animals soon clashed with each other. Court documents include statements from the wife who said her husband's dog continuously barks at the cat, leaving it scared and stressed, sometimes refusing to eat. According to the husband, wife's cat was to blame, claiming it, quote, often sits near the fish tank and just stares at my fish.
That's looking for lunch is what that is.
And it has turned violent towards the dog multiple times.
I hate to tell them, I think they're about to have some more dogs. Based on if that's the actual photo. Am I wrong about that?
Oh, no, this is just a photo I pulled.
Oh, that's a stock photo?
Dog and cat fighting.
Oh, okay. Well, that dog's about to going to eventually birth some. Am I wrong?
Yeah, this is how superficial I am. Bullet and Chili thank me every day, but I went to a rescue, and the dog had way too many nipples on it. And I was like,
Too many nipples?
Yeah, you'll find
Can dogs have more than, they don't have a standard amount of nipples?
Well, I mean, I think it just depends on the dog, but it showed me that this dog it was from a breeder, and she had they tried to tell me she's only had 2 litters in her life, and I'm like, are you kidding me?
Look at those nipples. Is that what you said?
Okay, so I didn't know this, but apparently they typically have between 8 and 10 nipples.
Dogs do?
Yeah, I didn't know it was a variable amount of nips.
But they don't protrude until they have kids, right? Until they have a litter.
So nipples stay hidden until dogs have kids?
I think so. I could be completely wrong on this.
But I'm with Tyler. I had no idea dogs have varying amounts of nipples. I thought it was standard.
Speaking of dogs, finally, a deaf woman in Southern California recovering after a small plane crash landed into her as she walked her dog across a park in Long Beach.
If you survive this one, the Lord's got more for you, I believe.
Tiffany Harrison, in her 40s, was walking through a local soccer field on October 21st when a 2-seat home-built aircraft lost power and made an emergency landing, striking her mid-crash. Because Harrison is deaf, she didn't hear the plane descending behind her.
What a terrible, terrible.
Now, her sister said, quote, she's traumatized. A normal person wouldn't just walk in the park and have this freak accident happen. Harrison suffered a fractured spine, pelvis, required surgery for a severe leg injury. How about this? Good news. Dog survived without any harm.
Well, that is great news.
Now, witnesses said the pilot, a man in his 60s, attempting to reach the field after radioing that his engine had failed. Quote, I've lost power, declaring an emergency. He told air traffic controllers moments before the impact. What do you think you're going to have with a home-built airplane?
Well, I just got to say, I mean, the odds of a crashing airplane hitting a human are quite low. Hitting a deaf human are almost incalculable.
Yeah, I think we're stretching that, calling that an airplane.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's something that gets off the ground.
What would you call it?
Well, I think Orville and Wilbur would look down their nose at calling that a freaking airplane.
Yeah, I know.
And that was 1917.
Like Mike Elko couldn't get in that thing and fly it. It would come apart.
That basically is a hang glider. I'm
with you.
It's not a good one, by the way, and shouldn't be allowed to do it. You shouldn't be allowed to do it. It's obviously dangerous to you and the public.
Guy's got a death wish. If you're really getting behind
I'm
that,
with you on that. Yeah.
Yeah. If you're going to do it out in the middle of nowhere.
That's right.
Yep.
Not laying in a park.
Yep.
Where deaf people walk.
That is Trash Today, brought to you in part by our friends at Michelson. Our last look back at Ole Miss's win over Oklahoma, brought to you by Michelson Laser Vision.
Yeah, 205-969-8100, the number that I called. Look, if you're wearing the contacts or glasses, make the call that I made. Stop procrastinating. Now is the time to get out in front of this. Call 205-969-8100. Ask for Amy Toh. The next round sent you. For more information, michelsonlaservision.com.
Sometimes kids say the darndest things. Actually, it's coaches. Here's Brent Venables after the loss to Ole Miss this past week on his coach's show.
I felt like we were the better team, but at the end of the day, this is a game of performance and executing, and I thought they'd out-executed us.
Following the game, Coach Brent Venables said he felt like he had the better team. Just your overall thoughts on that.
That's an interesting take.
Wow.
That's a hot take. You have a better team. I wouldn't have thought that people watching would say that. I felt that we won at their place in weather that as a defensive head coach you would normally, wish for, and won by 8 points. And I think we left a lot out there. I think we should have won by a couple scores. So I don't know how he evaluated that game, that they were the better team. I mean, we had way more yards, 21 first downs to 14, and we played, 87 plays of offense, and they had 1 sack and didn't force any turnovers. That's a interesting take, but whatever he needs to say. Maybe they had the better team last year too when we beat them. Maybe he had the better team in Oklahoma when we beat them 55-19 in the national championship. Maybe he had the better team at Clemson when we beat them 45-40 in the national championship at Alabama. Next question, my bad.
Wow. Lincoln scorched earth there, but he's spot on. Did you watch that game and think Oklahoma was better?
No, I did not.
No,
I actually thought in the first half that maybe Lane was going to miscoach this team and lose this game. What did he do? He brought in Austin Simmons a couple of times in the red zone, and I'm like, what the freak are you doing?
Took Chambliss out of the game,
I was like, what are you doing?
And last week, I don't know if you saw last week, he had Simmons and Chambliss in at the same time, and then they snapped it to Lacey. Yeah. Like, you got 2 quarterbacks in the game, and you snap it to a running back. That was wild.
Even that makes sense in taking Trinidad off the field where you could run the ball so well and bring Austin Simmons in cold and have him throwing into the end zone.
Yeah. Lane's spot on, man. I watched that game. Ole Miss was a better team. I don't know what. I think that was a throwaway line by Venables that he didn't think he'd get back to Lane.
Yeah. I don't know how good of Coach Venables is.
Huh.
Tomorrow. I didn't get to it today. Tomorrow. Can you name me 5 more Power 5 conference coaches that'll get fired?
Yes.
I think I can, too.
Yeah.
And I think Venables will be one of them for me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know about that.
All right.
I don't know if Hugh Freeze is going to be one of them.
But I think I can still get the 5 without Venables or Freeze.
All right. Bama and Bourbon rolling into your
tomorrow
space this week.
Okay. Good save. Good save. Good save.
Already out there is Unlocked.
Last call coming up later.
That's right.
Set your alerts.
I don't know if you guys got to hear Unlocked, but Brock's son got his first SEC offer as a sophomore this weekend.
Go watch Unlocked to find out where.
Yeah, find out where.
He knows Kalen DeBoer very, very well, Brock does.
By the way, Knox Kiffin, SMU offer.
How about that?
How about Knox all of a sudden?
The Stains.
He's no longer just running the fire extinguisher on the sidelines. He's playing high school football. All right, that's a minute and 45 seconds of extra content for you there. Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.